when I'm going to search for something, though, I'm always looking for the negative comments. You know, you're scrolling down, you're like, okay, this guy likes it, it's probably fake, until you find somebody that's like, yeah, I didn't have the best experience, and then that's usually the one that I'll take, you know.
That's why I think it's important, though, to highlight, like, your own, like, ethics, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of, like, one of the things I like most about you, and, like, the thing that you guys do, or is why you do it, you know?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So it's, like...
No, I agree. You know, a lot of people that, you know, they just try to put a big sticker on something, you know, and a big sticker, a big pretty sign on their idea, and they expect people to bite. But the reality is, you know, nowadays in society, people are biting on your moral choices, you know, your moral, like you said, your ethics, and like the way that you handle and believe things beyond what your product is, you know.
Yeah.
And you know,
it's your foundation, like who you are and why you do it is the most important thing, I think, before even what you do. Like, I tattoo for a living, but, you know, like, my reasoning is
you went into it because there was a gap in the industry, like, that you saw, you know, and you took an advantage of that and made one of the most creative experiences while getting a tattoo, you know, that's in the market, at least around here, you know. And that's why people support you, I think, so much when it comes to, you know, your style of tattooing and stuff, is because it's different than what the normal thing is, and also you're taking a client on a one-on-one experience, instead of, you know, and you're diving into why they want their tattoo, what their tattoo's about, the story behind it, you know.
Exactly, dude.
Which, like you said too, you get to wash out a lot of the bad customers and the bad, you know, the bad clients when doing that. So that's
it's like
cool.
a big filter, you know.
Yeah.
But I kind of see that as a similarity, like, in the way that you do things. Like, it's like you have like a strong, like, moral ground to stand on in the first place. Like, this is why I want to do this. Like, I'm not just gonna grow weed to make a bunch of money. You could be a millionaire and grow weed for sure, you know.
Right.
But or you could do what you're doing, and you could, like, help people who need medicine, you know. It's like a real medicine. It's helping.
It's really about the principle, you know. We had people in 2008 that fought for this law to be legal and to be able to help all these patients across the state. And they, now they're fighting to have licenses to profit off a lot of this stuff, and then, you know, raising arguments on you know, obviously capitalism is great and everything, but there comes a point of, you know, moral obligation of what you can make profit off of, what you should make profit off of, and what you shouldn't make profit off of.
I mean, really, it all comes down to, like, actions speak louder than words, you know what I mean? That's what it all comes down to. We can sit here and say, like, everybody can say, oh, I'm out to help, but why shouldn't I be compensated for my time? And, well, you can be compensated for certain aspects in what you do, you know, but you shouldn't be compensated in everything, you know what I mean? It shouldn't be only, exactly. It shouldn't only be about compensation. This market should be about helping those who need help.
It's like I see you guys are, like, trying to not let it turn into, like, the pharmaceutical industry kind of.
Absolutely.
You know, it's turned into, like, a for-profit industry. And it's running off the, you know, it's making so much money off insurances and people that are just sick and stuff. And
Yep, it is. And, you know, it's going to take every person of the community to be able to keep hold of the patients over profits and the whole aspect about that, you know, because there's a lot of special interests that are out of state, out of country, coming in here to commercialize this stuff. And, you know, it's going to definitely take people, small town people like us, to be able to keep it away from the pharmaceutical industry. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah. And that's where, I mean, that's where this rec market's coming in so handily, because there was so many people that wouldn't even think about trying RSO for cancer.
Right.
Just because they didn't want to go through the troubles of getting a card and finding a caregiver and looking for something. And with this rec market, we're allowed to just gift it to anybody that's in Michigan. You know?
We got people coming from New Jersey, Tennessee, you know, we got a guy from Oklahoma.
Kids that have seizures and old people with cancer. All kinds of
cancers. 99% of the cancer. We have a lot of hepatitis C patients. Most of them, our patients are cancer patients. And, you know, we do it a little bit different. There's a lot of different groups and nonprofits out there that are doing the same type of thing.
Can you
that we're
explain
doing.
what the RSO is? Like
Yeah,
how
Rick
it's made and what it
Simpson
does.
Yeah, like Rick Simpson oil is it's a cannabis concentrate. It's used. There's a few different solvents that you can use to make it. One of the
Hey, we close that.
one of the solvents that people use in Michigan, and it's not the best solvent. I definitely wouldn't recommend it if you have a different choice. But it's 151 proof Everclear, and there's 190 proof, and then there's naphtha and isopropyl, 99% isopropyl. Those are all solvents that can be used. But what it does is it strips the cannabis of all of the nutritional and benefits of it and the cannabinoids, and it extracts it into the solvent. And then what we do is we take and boil the solvent off of the actual cannabinoids and then other nutritional properties that are in the plant, the cannabis plant, and it comes down and boils down into this oily substance that's called Rick Simpson oil. The reason it's got that name is because there's the guy that founded it from Canada. His name was Rick Simpson. He cured his own cancer with it, and he cured hundreds of people's cancers with it. And he had several raids on his compound, He's had a lot of money and things taken from him from the police and other officials, and during his journey, he actually had somebody document the majority of his testimonials on video, and you can find all those on YouTube. Or they're called the Phoenix Tier series, and basically what it does is it has a mixture of different cannabinoids in it. You want something high in THC, and you also want to be taking a CBD supplement. And what it does is the CBD is the more nutritional side of the Rick Simpson oil, and the THC is the more action side of the Rick Simpson oil. And the THC penetrates cancerous cells that are inside our bodies and rewires them in a way and makes them commit cell apoptosis, which is cell suicide. So they had this recorded in 1997 on some rats that they did a test on. And all of that information stuff's been suppressed, for the past
For sure.
Yeah,
it's how many years?
ridiculous.
And like
It's too much money and keeping people sick,
yeah, exactly.
And that's the thing is like the
If
only.
you could grow a plant in your yard that is going to make you better,
Yeah, why are they gonna?
Why the fuck
Why are
are
they
you
gonna
gonna
let
buy
you do
their
that?
pills,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. Yep, that's the kind of, but Rick Simpson oil is beneficial mainly to cancer patients because of that reason. It does wonders for type 2 diabetes. We've watched it on several patients that also were cancer patients or chronic pain patients we've had in the past years.
Your grandpa's, right?
Yep, my grandpa was one of them, and we've taken him off of 100% all insulin. He takes no pills, no medication whatsoever for diabetes or anything like that. And your grandpa as well.
Yep.
What happened with him? How did his go? His treatment?
It dropped his sugar like the first day that he took it.
There you go.
And then, after a week, it was like normal levels, when before it was like severely abnormal.
It was like 220 or 240.
Crazy.
Yeah, every night.
I mean,
you actually
it's helping
measure
people sleep.
how it's helping them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So when Rick Simpson healed his cancer, like you can see that on like test results.
You
and
can
shit,
see it in
too.
test results, yeah. And he
So
lived
it's
in
like-
Canada.
And there's like
And-
a lot of people doing this.
Oh, there's so many people doing this now. And on that Phoenix Tier series, you can see medical results, medical charts of tumors that have shrunk completely to gone. They've have a full there's patients that, and we can't recommend any medical advice. We're not doctors and stuff, but I'm just gonna tell you what happened
dude.
in these videos.
Experience.
Yeah, and in these videos, you had patients that were not trying any chemotherapy or any other traditional type of treatment. They were not doing any radiation, and they went in for their 3-month checkup and came back with a 3
Is that a roach thing?
3 months later, they came back for their.
No, it
That's
isn't.
my weed day,
Sorry.
dude. Come on.
Drop the joint in the weed day.
Pioneer woman. That's
Way to
good
go,
porcelain
Tom.
right
As
there.
it happens.
No, but in a 3-month period, he went back for his test and he had a full metabolic response to 0% cancer in his body.
It's crazy, dude.
It's amazing. It's really amazing.
So, like, all these plants you guys got back here, you're gonna make that kind of oil out of
Yeah,
it.
that's the
Every
whole
gram.
garden. You know,
Every
everything.
gram. Every gram of trim. Every gram of.
How many patients do you guys work with personally?
Cancer patients right now, we're pushing 29.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
we're giving them their oil every 2 weeks.
We're getting
And
more
are a
and
lot
more
of them
every
seeing
day.
like good results like that? Like,
So
or
great
all of
results.
them?
Yeah, we take. See what we do different. Going back to it, there was, there's other groups in the state that are doing this same thing, and it's like we're not the only people
Okay.
that are doing this, but we do it a little bit different. We like to meet. We only give a certain amount, usually a week to 2 weeks dose at the beginning, and then we like to see them every week to 2 weeks throughout their entire treatment, because cannabis treatment isn't just about putting the medicine in your body and just doing your thing. It has to go hand in hand with compassion. You have to truly believe it's going to work, and the benefits you're going to reap from that are going to be tremendously more. And the other, a lot of these other patients that are doing it,
There you go.
a lot of these other groups and stuff that are doing that, they'll run anybody's trim. If you don't have cancer or nothing, you can go, like the Michigan Cannabis Cancer Project. You can contact John Roberts or Gersh Avery, and they take trim from caregivers, and they'll run it, and they take 50% of it, and they give you 50% of the RSO back. And that 50% that went to the Cancer Project gets donated for free to cancer patients like we're doing. So they kind of offer another service,
Yeah.
I'm not sure how they
entices people into
to donate.
Yeah, donate.
To get in their trim. They don't have to put effort in to get in their trim ran, and they can still be helping people at the same time.
Yeah.
And
That's one of the big things we're noticing is it's like the whole pay it forward model.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We started this thing, and all of a sudden, like, you just get responses from everywhere, and then you get people donating. I mean, we've gotten so many people that have just donated time, donated money, donated just everything. I mean,
trim yesterday.
this whole garden is nothing but donated time. You know what I mean? Like,
and not just from us, but from the community.
Yeah.
There's people that came out here. We have sponsors that sponsored it. That
Is that just recently, or more like
it's
throughout
been
the
hitting,
whole thing,
but it's been hitting harder and harder every.
now
you know
that
what I mean?
the videos are out? Is it helping a lot? You think?
Oh my gosh, yes. The videos,
With them getting shared, it's just it's getting.
I think
We've gotten so many responses from people that are just like, man, my mom's on her. Doctor said they can't do anything else for her.
Dude,
And like she's on borrowed time now. What do we do? Well, you come see us, and we'll, we can do this. We can try it at least.
Yeah.
It's it's been a
Ping
great.
pong these things.
It's been a great journey though, dude. It's like
That's
meeting
ping
with these
pong back and
patients.
forth.
That's a good idea.
You get to see people in their rawest form.
They're so open with us, man.
Yeah.
They're just so open with us about
Yeah.
everything.
You don't really get to see that part of human beings anymore.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
It's weird.
to say the least.
It is.
man.
It's like a crazy. Like, it's a nice feeling to do something for someone else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
And
but
not
then in turn,
expect
like,
anything in
that's what I'm
return
saying, though, it's like-
necessarily.
In turn, they're all doing it too, though. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They're all.
We
That's
have
what it
every
is.
A lot of them
single
are-
cancer patient right now. Let me take that back. We've just got 11 in the past 9 days. We got 11 more patients. So, not including those patients, every single cancer patient we have has gotten free plants from us, planted them in the ground, and even after their treatment's done, they plan to keep going with their plants and donating everything that they're growing back to the cause.
Yeah.
So it is a full circle.
It's just kindness and empathy, dude. It all like compounds, Like if you
It's
put
patients
that out,
taking
it
care of
comes back.
patients.
Yeah.
It's not the state taking care of them. It's patients taking care of patients, and that's how it's always going to be.
That's how it probably should be. You can't trust the government to really pass you something out, anyways. You know what I mean? Or to
No.
fix
Yeah, you
your
don't know
woes in
what's in
life and
that,
shit,
you know?
dude.
No.
Like
The
anytime
government-
you put something in their hands, they fuck it up, anyways.
Every
mean,
time,
Brooke,
man. Every time.
You had a back injury when you were younger from like ice skating or something.
Yeah.
And I mean, she was young, and I mean, look at her. She's not very big.
Yeah.
The doctors up there put her on Neurotins.
Oh.
You know, and she was on those for years and years, and then
Since I was 17.
Since she's 17, and then all of a sudden, she finds out off of either a social media or Google or something like that that Neurotins are they're rotting your brain. You know, they're potentially causing irreparable damage. That
It's a painkiller, right?
Yeah, it's a painkiller. It's a form of an opiate.
Oh, okay. Never heard of that one.
But it's just
Crazy though.
I mean, how long did you have to deal with that?
Well, I broke my tailbone when I was 13. So I was on Tylenol until 17, and then they're like, whatever, this isn't working, you know, bam,
Here's a pill,
here's
dog.
this.
Yeah.
And literally they're like, you know, if this doesn't do it, just call us and let us know and we'll up your dose.
Yeah, that's...
And so you know, I was like, are you serious? It's that easy?
And then, of course, you would, if you take it as directed,
Yeah.
you would naturally build a tolerance. So they knowing that you're going to build a tolerance, and then you're going to what? Call them back and say, I need some more because my back still hurts.
It's like legal
Yeah.
drug dealing.
But then
for
what
sure.
happens after all that? And then they say, all right, now you're fully addicted. You can't have any more of these pills.
So
You don't get these pills anymore. And that pushes people to worse and worse. You guys can just keep that one if you want.
how long have you guys been growing weed?
Me, I've been growing since 2010. So,
9 years or something?
Yeah.
10 years?
10 years. I've been, I would say, professionally growing for about 4 years, 5 years. going on 5 years.
I can relate to that too with tattooing too. You know, what I mean?
Yeah.
Those first few years, you're just learning. You know,
So,
What's kind of cool is
trial
the
and error.
professionally growing part fell in when I started growing about 4 or 5
Yeah,
years ago.
Yeah.
That's perfect timing. Man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And that's what I mean, but that's the thing is ever since then we've been pushing for Vivid Farms, we've been pushing for the Mountain Town Farmers Alliance, we've
Yeah.
been pushing for the Cancer Project. It's always been
It's good that you
the
guys
top
have
thing on our
the
plate,
same
and,
vision. You know,
it's taken a while,
It
but we've
clicked.
gotten it all to
Yeah,
just
it
fall
clicked.
right into
I
place.
have,
And
you know,
You guys have
we've
a
been
good
through,
team.
between me and my dad, before Tony, we've been through people, you know, and while Tony's been here, we've been through people, but it's so important and crucial when you have a dream and a goal and a mission to make sure that everybody that is on your team has the same visions, goals, and missions, you know, because one person that has some type of special interest or outside interference can bring down the whole thing, you know, because that ties, especially if you build friendships out of it, because then you have resentment when it wasn't needed.
Yeah.
But you were just saying it related to tattooing and stuff. So what was your journey? Learning that coming up through tattooing and whatnot. I know you didn't obviously always live in Michigan, and I remember you saying you had a pretty cool apprenticeship.
Yeah, I mean, but it's kind of funny because it's kind of like how you're saying, you know, those first few years, it's you almost can't even count it, you know?
Yeah.
But, you have to do that. You have to go through that and then get to the other side.
Yeah,
You know? So,
and not just for your sake, but for
Yeah.
your credibility in the street or the industry or you have to actually count your
you have to pay your dues, you know? That's what it is. dude,
That's so
fucking-
important.
Yeah.
You know?
So, I just started off like a lot of people, just picking up a machine and just trying it and, failing hard at first, But then realizing that and then just putting yourself around the right people, getting the right mentors, stuff like that along the way, I started off at this little, I didn't get an apprenticeship right away, I started off just, like I said, kind of messing around. And
On your buddies and on
people that were stupid enough to let me.
Oh yeah, but
I-
I'm sure that's the story of a lot of
Yeah.
really good artists. They were just like, F what the license I have to have. I want to see if I like it first.
And people were down.
Yeah.
People trusted you enough,
I was
Hey.
19 too, and I had other friends that were also trying to learn, that didn't end up doing it professionally later, but
Right.
we would trade on each other. I'd do one on them, they'd do it on me. That's how we kind of first started out. And then with a book full of pictures of stuff like that I did, I got into the first shop and then just paid a few $100 a month just to be there, you know, and I did whatever I could to like make those ends meet so that I could be around actual tattoo artists, you know,
to get to where you needed to be. Though, you know, that's like the
and
same
there were
thing.
these like threatening Mexican.
It's crazy,
dudes,
like
you know?
noticing all the correlations between cannabis growing and tattooing. Honestly,
Yeah, and it's just in business, but also like I was gonna go and say like the way that your business style is set up now, and the way that our business style is set up now, it's obviously with the consumer in mind, you know.
Oh,
and I
for
feel
sure,
like,
dude.
I feel like that's something that this younger generation is, mainly responsible for because, you know, no offense against the older generations, you know, but like their outlook that they had on business was pure capitalism. It was pure, you know.
Well, what was that? Working for the company dime or whatever. There was like an old song about it. You know, like back in the day, they'd have a mining town, and you'd get paid in company money.
Yeah.
That you could only spend in the company stores.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I lived my life to the company store or something like that. Is what it's called.
I remember what you're saying now.
So I mean, like that's the mentality these older generations have grown up with. And we've gotten to see it in our parents and in our grandparents and the different styles of adults we've seen growing up, and this younger generation yet is seeing it in us, and it's just it's getting better and better, and more and more for the people, and you know, just like world peace and happiness. And,
less selfish,
you know what I mean? Like,
whatever.
Exactly.
It's
Way less selfish.
Yeah, I feel like there was a lot.
The tattoo industry's crazy though, dude. When it first started, you know, in America, it's all like bikers and sailors and crazy motherfuckers.
Well,
you know?
They just got
criminals.
legalized in Oklahoma a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Like, tattoos.
You couldn't have legalized.
You couldn't have a tattoo shop in Oklahoma until like 2008.
Like a handful of years ago, dude.
You can't.
Yeah, like when I lived in Oklahoma, there was no tattoo shops in Oklahoma.
It was illegal.
I got a tattoo in Oklahoma. My buddy bought a kit online, and I was like,
was that illegal for him to do that?
Oh, probably.
Like,
I imagine. I mean, I don't know if it's. I mean, it's. I don't know if it'd be illegal. I guess. I just know you couldn't have a tattoo shop.
Off of it.
There couldn't be a tattoo shop.
There was carnivals, and it was traveling carnivals you had to get tattoos from at a certain point in time.
That's cool.
You know,
that would be cool.
That's almost a.
It'd be like a tent they'd set up, and they'd have like
Yeah.
they'd have their lady be covered in tattoos, you know, like my lady, and then like everyone go look at them, and then if you wanted to get one, then you go into the next tent and you get one from the tattoo artist.
That's
like,
sweet.
And they're wearing like a doctor's coat and shit like that, and you call them like fucking Dr. Briggs or something like that. You know what I mean?
That's cool, dude. Man, that's a sweet part of the culture.
There's
dude.
dude. Detroit has a lot of culture like that and stuff too. There's like Percy Waters is like one of the oldest tattoo artists. He like created the modern tattoo machine and stuff.
He's from Detroit.
Yeah. Well, he had a shop in Detroit and a supply shop, like one of the first supply shops in America, and he patented like the modern tattoo machine with the 2 coils.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. And so, like, Detroit has a lot of history with tattoos and stuff too. So it's kind of cool to go to those conventions and stuff and just like take part in all that stuff nowadays, you know.
Yeah, I can imagine, dude.
But like it all started with those kind of guys. Like the guy that really is like the main dude in Detroit now, he was like a Vietnam veteran, and he was in like the Scorpions, like a motorcycle crew or whatever, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
so, like,
some hard.
Those are the kind of people that used to start, you know what I mean? So they had a different mentality. They were just like, if you're not part of, if you don't fit in, like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Once again, it bumps right back into cannabis, because if it wasn't for all the guerrilla growers we had back in the 60s and the 70s, all these people that were hiking miles to plant a garden out in the... I mean, we wouldn't have what we have today.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what I mean? It's amazing that the people that started fighting for cannabis again, you know, in the 60s and the 70s, they get to see it free and legal. And
yeah, that's one of the biggest things.
It's amazing, dude.
When Prop 1 went through, there's a lot of people that were against it, and... You know, maybe they were against it for the right reasons, and maybe they were against it for the wrong reasons. But I voted yes on it. And,
absolutely.
You know, any bit of change in the prohibition to me, whether it be less incarcerations or more accessibility for patients, you know, it's progress in my mind. You know, and I think a lot of people that were against that were against it because it wasn't completely descheduling the plant, or it wasn't completely decriminalizing it and completely, you know,
pretending like it was never illegal in the first place. Is what everybody wants.
Yeah, that's almost a little bit of ignorance. No offense to them, but you know, I feel like it was really positive in the passing of Prop 1 and stuff, but...
And it gives us something to work for.
Yeah.
You know?
If it wasn't for that...
I'm trying to pass that.
Dude,
I'll
I
take it.
can't believe like we grew up in a time where it was considered.
Is that water right there?
This?
Cat, yeah.
Yeah.
Can I have some water?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, bro, my bad.
You
There's
wanna
water.
eat
I'm
this?
about
is
to
cold,
pass
man.
out.
Oh,
Yeah,
huh.
walk in the house right there, and... Or wait, is your kid sleeping right there?
I don't know. That's all good.
You can
though.
go in the kitchen.
Yeah,
though.
go in the kitchen side and...
I'm so sorry, buddy.
Do you want like a cold rag?
sit down.
Yeah, just take a break.
dog.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
Oh,
you're
you're
good.
all right, buddy.
It's hot.
You're good.
I kind of forgot you were even there,
Yeah.
honestly. We were all just kind of talking for a bit. And
Feeling a little lightheaded too after that like 7th joint or whatever.
That's a norm. That's a norm.
well, it's not called the Sesh for nothing, man.
Right.
This is-
So, I think it's
So it's got to be, I think this is the key that opens up the fucking conversations, you know what I mean?
Dude, it's crazy that weed was considered a Schedule 1 narcotic.
Still is.
Yeah.
It still is.
That's
the
if
problem,
it
like,
was-
we
if
But
it-
for a lot of states, it's not now, you know.
and that, but the crazy thing, if it wasn't for the Cole memo, which, you know, who was it, President Obama put
Yeah.
in, then they'd still be able to enforce
making
all the federal
raids and
rules
shit.
and
Yeah.
spending federal funding on busting us. And honestly, until that was put in, even in medical states, there was a lot of people that
Yeah, I
were getting
remember.
bullied, and it was just it was insane.
It's crazy that we lived through that time, you know. Like
Yeah.
that's a weird time period to live in. In the
Yeah.
future, they're gonna look back and be like, "What the fuck were they
Yeah,
doing?"
well,
You know,
yeah.
it's like the
What's that
pictures we
plan?
see now where they're like pouring out
Alcohol.
beer.
It's like,
alcohol in the
yeah.
We're
streets.
kind of one of the, like, our generation growing up is just kind of, because we've seen, like, the middle and the end of a lot of things, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like we've seen the beginning of the internet, and, like, kids now,
Yeah.
growing up now, kids now are never going to know a world without the internet. You know what I mean? It's just going to be like, what was not the internet? Well, back in the day, we had to call our homie. And if they weren't home, we had to ride our
with
bikes
a
to their
rotary
house.
dial.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We had to ride over to their house and knock on the door and ask their mom who couldn't
Yeah.
Snapchat them or...
Social media, you know,
Yeah.
it's crazy now too. It's
So
like
I mean,
it's
like,
that's like
with
a,
us, it was like we
another
grew up.
step.
It was prohibited. Weed was like, you know, I mean, in high school it wasn't even close to being legal. Cali, it
crazy.
was a little bit.
Yeah, it's
But-
always been like a weird line in Cali. Like,
Yeah.
when I was a kid, we got caught a couple of times with some, and they always made us stomp it out. You know, they didn't
Yeah.
want to go through the paperwork. Of,
Yeah,
like,
even me growing up,
arresting
like
you.
I never really, you know, what I mean, I never had too many bad experiences with cops or whatever. Even in school and stuff, I got kicked out a couple times for it, but
Yeah.
it was never like, oh, now you're in prison. You know what I mean? Or now
Yeah.
you're just
Yeah.
done forever.
Oh no, they just realized, you know, you got a different attorney general in there, and he realized he owned how many prisons, you know,
Yeah.
or had stakes in how many private
yeah.
prisons, you know. It was like 51% of everyone that was incarcerated in the state of Michigan was in there for a nonviolent crime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there was more asset forfeiture. There was like in
The cops
2018.
stole more money from people than
Yeah,
thieves did.
in
Yeah,
2018 there was
That's hardcore, man.
there was more money, or there was like 19 point some million dollars that was seized in asset forfeiture, and that's
19
before
million.
anybody was even convicted. That's like they walk in, they say, "Oh, this door was unlocked or something." Even if you were the only person in the house and you were working in your room, you know, we're taking all your plants, taking all your equipment, and we're gonna definitely
Mister?
take your money. Oh, that's a nice big TV right there. We're gonna take that to you. Obviously bought
Yeah.
that with drug money.
Yeah,
And is that
exactly.
Harley, that car,
They were
your
taking
house?
people's cribs, man. They took
Yeah.
like baby
It's a good
cribs. They
gimmick.
take
That's crazy. Yeah.
Christmas present.
Yeah, Christmas present, wrapped Christmas presents they've seized. I'm not joking.
On Christmas Eve.
That's some piracy.
Yeah,
you know?
that's what it is. It was legal. It was legal piracy.
And the worst
man.
part is, I mean, you can look up another fellow activist, Don Koschmiter, and his van was taken, and $10,000 was taken before he was even convicted. He gets out of his charges, I believe, the majority of the charges, and was able to go get his stuff back, and he had to go to like a civil court for it and stuff. You know, me and my cousin were there at a lot of his court cases, and then it turns out
You're probably
they
getting, like,
lost the money.
suffocated
They
by
lost
the
all the
smoke.
$10,000.
I mean,
Like,
look,
they
the
couldn't. No, it was
only
literally
door
like they
is right
lost
there.
That's what they told him. They lost
I
it,
don't know what it was. That was
and he just got his
And
van
they don't have
back.
any
So
responsibility to it.
yeah, and then it's
Balancing
just now
on
he's
those-
like now he
balancing on
just
the arm.
was
I was
out
like,
of his
man,
money,
that
and then
can't
they
be
lost it.
fun.
I'm not sure. You know, it's been a while since it all happened. Did he ever get his money back?
I don't know if he had.
I don't know if he got his. I know he got his
Probably
van
not,
back.
dude.
I'm not sure if he got his money returned.
You know, like if you're not rich and you can't afford like an attorney, go back all through
And that's
all
the
that
problem.
shit.
Is
you
like,
know, and,
I get
most of the
so
time you wind up
high
having to
on
pay
those
more in court
favorite
fines and all this
snacks.
shit was fucking worth in the
and
first
then
place.
all
And
you
they
get is
try
a
to
moral
systematically-
victory.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, I get all my stuff back, but I paid twice as much as I already paid
I
for
always
it
eat all
twice.
the
And you get to be like,
Shiloh and I feel
fuck
bad.
you.
Yeah, but
I go
And
on
you know
so
what?
many
What they
runs
were
just
doing
for
was
those
having
things.
these auctions. So even for growing equipment, like how are you going to take growing
Every
equipment
kind
away
of
from
them
somebody
too,
that
like,
accidentally left their door unlocked?
I'm
There's-
not
Or not
Yeah.
even. Sometimes it was just. It was a fuck up. Like most time
I
people got
imagine
charged,
if
they
you
didn't
had
even
a-
get
they should make that
tried.
into
You
a
know what I mean?
series.
Yeah.
They'd go and they'd get booked and they'd be like, oh, never mind. Or not even get taken in the first place.
Yeah, just get a.
And just get a letter in the mail saying, oh,
Chocolate
if you want your
almond
stuff
milk
here,
and shit.
you have to take us to court type of thing.
Or
Yeah.
if you get
You
the
know-
vanilla
But with
kind
Prop
and
1,
put chocolate syrup in there.
Civil asset
so
forfeiture is
sweet.
gone.
Well, that was a. Hey,
made
Tate.
that.
Tate's just eating cigarette butts.
Tate,
Like, right out of
Dude.
the ashtray.
Last time I-
Tatey.
I haven't seen anyone
Mister.
get that green like that since
Come on. What are you
I
doing?
fucking tattooed someone and they
Brown
passed
things
out
are
and shit.
roaches.
Yeah.
Really?
Is there any roaches?
I've had that happen before. You tattoo
I don't think
in,
down
you know.
there.
Really?
Just never
there any
didn't
on
have
the
something to
table?
eat, and it's like
Yeah.
hot in the shop
Can I
or
have
something,
one?
you know. Blood sugar drops.
That's what happened.
Yeah, dude.
Never
So,
had that.
Like
wait.
a little
Mister,
sugar.
stop.
You know, we always
Mister.
said a Pepsi and a
Is it 'cause they're
Snickers is
bleeding?
the trick if the
Hey.
people start feeling lightheaded and shit.
Is it because they're bleeding?
I don't
Hey,
know. No,
hey,
it's
it's
just
more
like
of
the
an
trauma.
anxiety
Just
thing.
Yeah, it's like your endorphins are running, you know. Yes, it's like a brain thing. Yeah, it's like, you know, like your adrenaline's running really hard. So
I don't ever think about being tattooed when I'm being tattooed.
yeah, dude, that's the trick. You know, it's to zone out and just like.
Yeah.
I usually just try to get people to talk and stuff.
Yeah, I've
I've
seen
only
that
been
on your
tattooed
videos.
twice.
Like, just,
Some people are really good at this. Some people aren't. Like this next video we're gonna do, like that girl didn't talk at all. You know, like she was just like there to get tattooed, and she didn't really want to talk to me,
Awkward.
which is all right. You know, like it's all good.
Those are always the ones
like
I want to talk
I get
to.
those done quick though. Whenever I'm not talking, like I'm
Yeah.
like, damn. You know, I did her whole thigh in like 3 hours or something like that.
Dude, that's what you couldn't get her to stop talking. Brooke's
No.
just like blah 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 blah. blah,
And sometimes that's
Yeah.
good though. It's all about the person, you know,
Yeah.
like what makes them comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, some people need more and some people need less.
Oh
You
yeah.
just gotta like.
That's
be able
crazy
to-
though that you gotta like sometimes worry about people. You know, what are other hazards and stuff that you gotta worry about when you're tattooing? I never really thought about that.
Shit, dude. And mostly like it's all like kind of like just natural now. It just happens, you know. Like I have like this whole system down, so I don't even think about it like a hazard now.
Yeah.
Really, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's,
But you know, like you just gotta use common sense more than anything. I think,
Yeah.
you know.
but what's like the biggest risk you have as a tattoo artist?
I don't know. Like I try to limit the risk, I guess. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's why I try to like specialize and shit like that in like certain things. It's like if I was taking like huge risks, then I'm altering somebody's body for the rest of their lives and shit. You know what I mean? So
Oh,
in
yeah.
the art, I don't take risks. Maybe in my like advertising and like my social media stuff, you know, like
Yeah.
that. Like the business side, I've taken a lot of gambles. I tried to start up a tattoo removal business in the shop before. You know, spent a lot of money trying to do that.
Yeah.
Running 2 engines at the same time with only one
Yeah.
amount of
Oh,
coal.
I've
You know
done
what I
that.
mean? Like,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
crazy.
Believe me, I know what you mean there.
So like, you
Spreading
know, like I
yourself
was
a
young
little
though,
too
so and I'm still young, I guess. But like, you know, you learn lessons along the way, and I guess like since I started here, I've been more learning like business lessons now. You know, like because like early on it was all like art lessons. You know, you're just learning about art in the beginning.
Yeah. Right. That's awesome. Man.
Yeah,
now
I've seen
it's-
that.
Now it's all business lessons,
Yeah.
dude, and sometimes it can be hard lessons.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I've seen that giveaway you just did.
yeah.
How did that turn out?
Those are really good. I've had some that hit like, you know, a lot of people. Like this one wasn't the biggest one I've ever had, but I
Mhm.
felt like the engagement was like the most genuine. Like
Yeah.
it was the most like real. I was really talking to people like one on one.
Yeah.
I really got to pick somebody like based on like
Yeah, I like how you
values
did
and
that.
shit,
Yeah, I
you
like
know?
how you did that instead of just
Yeah.
pick a number and whoever
I
gets
let
closest
everyone.
to the number. type
I
of
took a
thing,
poll
or-
too, you know, and I asked what people wanted, and they wanted
how-
me to handpick the fucking
Yeah.
winner.
How
you
did
know?
they want to
That's
do
awesome.
pick it?
So-
That was sweet.
That's
So
really
that-
cool.
That was different, you know. Like sometimes I'll do a random
Well, it's
winner.
awesome. Yeah.
Sometimes I'll pick one. Sometimes I'll pick someone by the story or just by their idea, not based on them at all. You
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah, oh yeah.
I've done one where it's a couple, and they won on Valentine's Day one year.
Okay.
Oh,
I've
really?
done, like the worst tattoo in Mount Pleasant I did once, or twice actually. Like where it was like I took.
Didn't you enter that?
Yeah,
I
had
entered.
people
Yeah, I
in there.
entered. I entered.
He
one
entered.
that was,
He entered that.
it was a
Okay.
free cover up for
Yeah.
for something for.
The worst tattoo.
It might have been. Yeah, it might have been the worst tattoo. I sent in my stick cow and my
Oh, okay.
my FTW, which
There's
meant
always
something
some really
way
bad
different.
ones, though. You
Yeah,
know,
oh yeah,
so-
oh yeah.
What did it mean, Tone?
It used to mean fuck the world, and now in this new hashtag age, it means for the win.
Yeah.
So like everybody's like, why do you have for the win on your leg?
Yeah.
It's like, man, it's not what it meant when I was a kid.
Like it was angsty
It was
back
cool, man. It was cool
Now
back then.
at this point, he's just like,
I'm just gonna put a
I'm a
hashtag
gamer.
above it,
Yeah.
and it's just gonna be that's what it is, man. It's for the win, dog.
then. At least you don't have profanity on you anymore, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Profanity.
Yeah, for sure.
What were we talking about a second ago before that?
You giveaways and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like it helps with business, though, right?
For sure, dude. It's just all about attention with that. That's the thing that
Yeah.
you gotta realize with it is like it's not about making a financial gain. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh, yeah,
You're
absolutely.
investing time, probably money,
Yeah.
energy, all that. You know, into it's like it's emotional sometimes too, and like reading all these people's crazy stories and
Right.
life stories and stuff.
So here's, I bet you some people that are listening will want to hear this. What do you think, being a young entrepreneur? There's a pine martin or pine bug
Oh,
up there.
fuck.
Brooke, you better kill that.
Gio's filming
We're
us to be tough, man.
We're fucked.
Geo's here. Here's my
We're
hat.
fucked. No, that's not enough. We need fire.
Maybe he'll just climb up and out. There's a hole up there, guys.
Is this thing
No, this-
dangerous or?
Yeah.
This thing's gonna go up in flames.
It's like right above me.
No,
I
just
don't
like
want
I
this.
think it's probably just gonna
No,
climb out.
they don't die.
Watch it, just watch it. It'll climb out. It's climbing out that
You
big old
don't
hole.
understand.
Watch it. It's gonna climb out.
You better hope, Tom.
You go, pine bug.
The mighty
You go,
bug
you
makes
go.
its way across
Poof,
the
gone.
land.
Now we don't have to worry about it. It's on the outside of the screen
All right.
until it drops back down. Like
What were
kamikaze.
you saying?
So like, have you ever been bit
I'm
by
not
one
gonna
of
be
those
able to
some
sleep
bitches?
tonight.
Nah, dude.
I'll tell you right now, it isn't pleasant.
You ever been bit by one of some bitches?
But being a young entrepreneur,
Oh yeah.
what do you think? You know, for like aspiring businessmen, young businessmen, what do you think? Like, give like
Business ladies too.
I think
yeah.
it's like
Business
just
people.
try
Business
hella
people.
hard right away and just fail often early. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
then you don't have much to lose early
So
on.
you'd
and
say-
shit. When you have kids and you have responsibilities.
just go for it then.
Yeah, dude.
Just
Send
go for
it.
If you
Yeah,
have an
like,
idea, just send it.
all your ideas, you know, like, and then like something's gonna stick, dude. Like it just happens, you know, like,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna find something, or you're gonna find something that sticks out above the other things, like that's how you're really passionate about, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I agree.
instead of just waste
So
your
like,
time.
I would
with
add to that too.
something that's just about money, you know, like do something that you're really
Yeah,
passionate
you're
about.
passionate about
Yeah.
it. Even if you try and you realize, maybe I'm not as passionate about
Yeah.
this as I thought. You do it young enough, and
Yeah.
you can still change. You can
And
still
something-
And
swap
you have
hats.
that under your belt.
Yeah.
Like, you can fall back on that if,
I think
your
that
other plans don't work out.
like adding to that too, one of the main things as like a young entrepreneur, aspiring entrepreneur is to get comfortable with being denied, rejected, and failing, because it's going to happen. You know, those sometimes I think what scares people off, especially at a young age, is denial and acceptance from other people, surroundings. But I'll tell you right now, it doesn't matter how many friends you have on Facebook, you can send your business to every single one of them, and I'm going to say maybe 5% or 10% are going to react to it, because the rest of them are going to not be happy about where they're at in their life, and they're not going to support somebody because, you know, they're jealous or they're, you know, and you just have to take that and grow with it and use that, you know, that
You can't even use
denial
it against
and-
the person. You know?
No, not
Yeah,
against the
it's-
person, you know,
it's-
because you're gonna get that.
It's
And
natural.
That's gonna also, you know, you don't want, definitely never bring up conflict or nothing, but
Yeah.
just like,
You can use that to your advantage sometimes too. You know,
Yeah.
that feeling. You just have to internalize it, I think, because it's like when you like expose that part of yourself and
Yeah,
everyone
yeah.
can relate to it,
Yeah.
you know, and they're like,
Oh, yeah.
"Fuck that part of you," because I hate that part of me too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep, and be, you know,
You'll notice that
just
that
be
there'll
okay with failing, because you're not gonna get it the first time, your
Yeah.
first try, ever.
And there'll be people in, like, say on your social media that you wouldn't expect to, you know what I mean? Like, you'd expect your close friends and your close family and stuff. A lot of times they won't even, you know what I mean? They're not going to respond to the post, but you'll get
because
these,
they just
these
assume
these
that, you know,
people
It
that
took
you haven't
years.
seen in 20 years, you know what I mean? Those random people you have on your Facebook that are, like, sharing your stuff and, like, liking it and actually interacting, and then it's just wild seeing, like, where people are in life and where people are willing to
people
put
will
their
wait
faith.
until you're really successful already, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
support you.
Oh,
know,
yeah.
and then be like, I had
Yeah.
you. I was in your
Oh,
corner.
yeah.
the
Oh,
whole
dude, I
time."
get messages you know, all the time. They're like, don't think, you know, because I'm not reacting to your stuff that we don't support you and blah, 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 on Facebook, you know. So, I mean, and a lot of those people that, you know, you're not going to get the support from right away, just assume that you know that they support you and they don't need to like your stuff. And they don't need it, you know, and a lot of them probably don't understand that liking, sharing, and, you know, all that stuff helps you in your business and stuff too, and how beneficial it is. But
It's so crazy, dude. Like how so much depends on that now. Like, and social media is so big in business, and like every business too. Like you see, like millionaire or like, you know, billion-dollar industries like are moving over to like advertising, marketing on social media.
yeah, there's
Absolutely.
you
Who
go on
watches
influencers.
TV anymore, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're using
Like,
influencers.
Yeah,
you know?
who's watching
Exactly, you
30-second commercials in between sitcoms anymore besides extremely old people?
Right.
You know what I mean? The older generation are still sitting down watching TV every night, watching the local news.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get our news from the TV anymore.
Yeah,
we get our
that's-
news from social media.
Maybe
We get our
that's something
news-
that might be good for both of us in our industries, you know, because I know in mine, like, I get it, like, probably a little bit of a head start on a lot of that stuff, just knowing how to use social media and the internet and stuff. Like, a lot of that competition is older, you know, they're in, like, their 50s or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And they don't
I
really
think
even
it is.
understand it. You know?
It is
They
definitely.
don't care about it.
I mean, obviously, everyone knows who Gary Vee is, you know.
Yeah.
And, like, he talks about that all the time, how he immediately saw social media networking as just a gold mine, and he invested in Facebook and Twitter and you know, and all that stuff, and then also bought ads on Facebook and Twitter, and was part of the whole beginning, you know, and
Don't.
uprising and all that. There's a bee in here.
Living
It's a
out here
lot.
in central Michigan, there's like a lot of bugs and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Dude,
Like,
these,
Especially
we have
if you
these
got
so
Some
many
big ones
humid.
too, man. Yeah, when it gets humid, it's
Oh,
crazy.
dude, they just get nuts out
It
here.
only gets worse the farther north you go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, even in town though, we got
Up in
different
the-
wildlife. Like when I first moved into the house we're at, there was a bunch of raccoons living in the attic, and
When I first moved into my house, we had like 250 bats living up inside our
shit.
inside the eaves of our house. And, like, you go out at night and
That's
just watch
scary.
them
Yeah. I had
flying
one
out of
come
the
in my
corners.
house.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I had a
Every
pillow
night.
fight with it, bro. It kept coming at me, and I just kept hitting it with this big ass pillow. My roommate was like, "What's going on?" Because he's like heard like a girl scream down, but it was me. I was like, you know?
Yeah, it's freaky, man. Like,
It's
they're not
scary.
We were
that
up
scary,
in
but
the
they're just
UP.
like,
Dude, it was
when you
up
get
in
one in your zone, it's like, oh,
This
wait a
bat was
second,
straight out
buddy.
of hell, dude.
We were up in the UP with the same thing happened on the side of Brooks Camper. There was like 4,000 spiders, dude, and I don't do those. Like, I don't do spiders.
Oh
one bit.
hell no, dude.
I don't like them. I don't do none of that, dude. I was out there, I was spraying them down, dude. I was smashing them. I'm talking big spiders, dude.
No, yeah.
The whole side of the camper, it was insane. She's just laughing at me, enjoying her life, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just like tripping balls. Like, there's little pincher bugs in the camper too.
Oh my god.
Dude, like earwigs or whatever, right where you lay your ears. Like, that can't be good.
Earwigs right where you lay your ears, man.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's not good, I don't think. I think that's got to be the worst.
But
And
yeah,
they had to
it's-
be called earwigs for a reason.
Yeah, 'cause they crawl
I mean,
in
it's
your
beautiful
ear and you
here.
pinch it.
It's beautiful here, but I don't like the bugs.
Yeah.
But there's
Bugs
bugs.
everywhere.
It's
Yeah,
good
California
for growing, it's
was
good for
huge.
growing weed outdoors though.
Not as good as Cali is,
Yeah.
but there's even worse bugs out there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
At least we don't got like tarantulas or scorpions or
Yes.
anything that can really, really,
It's
really
weird out
murder
there.
you.
Like there's certain trees that'll just fruit all year round. Like my
that's
in-laws
cool.
have
Oh,
like
that
an
would be
orange tree
beautiful.
just all year.
Well, I
Just-
mean, even with cannabis growing out there, they get to plant on Christmas.
Yeah.
And they're like, they get to grow and then harvest, you
just
know.
indoor when it gets so hot outside, the AC's running. It costs so much, you know.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
But
Yeah,
that's
it's
different. It's like here though, where it gets so cold out
yeah.
during the wintertime. You know, you got your
That's true.
propane cooking all winter long, and
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just as bad.
Is that how you guys run off energy out here? Is like a propane?
Yeah, out in the,
Yeah,
out
for
in
our
the-
heat, yeah.
Oh,
I got
okay.
a big propane tank. We used to have two of them, one for the barn, one for the house. My grandpa sold it before he sold me the house.
Yeah, dude, that's just my goal too, to get out somewhere like out in the country-ish a little bit more, you know, just like a little outside of town more, and like actually own some land and stuff.
Yeah.
And I want to do the same thing. I'd like to, you know, join you guys and help benefit these cancer patients, you know, and
Oh, yeah,
expand
dude.
even more.
That'd be
and,
awesome.
Like what you guys are into.
Yeah,
you know?
that'd be awesome. Dude, there's a lot of houses that are around.
Yeah, there's just
a lot of
Yeah.
there's
area.
land a lot. There's just so much land around.
And, you know, it doesn't take much land to benefit the Cancer Project either. You know, a little tiny plot. You know,
A
could
quarter of
make
an
it-
acre.
Yeah. And
Just
as long as it wasn't, you know, visible by public view, or even if you had a little LED light inside, or, you know, even just, there's so many different ways to cultivate now where it would cost basically nothing. You know, you're not going to produce.
You guys offer help too, right? For people like that want to join,
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
and they're
yeah.
like, I don't know anything about growing weed, but I believe in your guys' cause, and I want to help you. I have the
Yeah,
property.
absolutely.
They're like, what
Wholesale
can I
costs,
do?
Wholesale costs on most growing supplies. The stuff from Morgan Composting, we don't get too much of a discount through them yet, but you know, we're working on that.
And they got some of the best stuff anyways
They
around.
have some of the best stuff where it's worth buying, you know,
Yeah.
paying a little bit more.
Yeah,
It's
dude,
still not
if
as
you believe
expensive
if you
as-
believe in a product, sometimes it's not even about getting sponsored or whatever. You know, so sometimes it's better just to be like, I believe in this product and I'm behind it, so I'm just gonna buy it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
how I am about a lot of stuff too. A lot of people are just like desperate for sponsorships or like to get like, you know
Right.
what I mean? It's
Right.
like sometimes if you just believe in the product, they see you more. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, this guy's putting it out there for me. You
Yeah.
know, like so.
What's neat are the people that are sponsoring us are all severely local. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's
That's
Like,
good.
Barn
You know,
Door.
people that
And not only are they local, but they support local too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like the Barn Door support, you know, I mean, they use local beef, they use local vegetables,
the local beers.
Yes.
local beers, craft beers from
You know,
all around
and they-
central Michigan.
I like
They-
that too. Like whenever we were first doing, or the second season of the show, we had Sour Apple sponsoring us, and then we were doing like different local musician every episode and stuff like that.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Brooks, you know, that just reminded me. Brooke was getting ready to open up this thing where she was gonna get a list of the homeless that were at the shelter and schedule. What were you gonna do?
Free haircuts for the homeless.
Oh yeah, it was free haircuts for the homeless.
So like anybody trying to get a job
Oh,
that
yeah.
wants to like look more presentable, you
Yeah.
know.
And
I've
she's
seen that
just-
on. I've seen someone do that once on like social media. That could really help some people. You know, that's,
Yeah,
that's
just
crazy.
cleaning them up, you know, making them feel
Emotionally,
better.
you know, emotionally.
For sure, just you see yourself physically different in the mirror, and it can help a
Mhm.
lot. My dad's homeless, been homeless like his whole life like that, and I've seen him go through like times where he's just like totally, you know, like in that homeless mode, and I've seen him just like jump into a job and yeah, I
And
think
his
there's
whole
like
complexion
sometimes
changes,
it
man.
takes somebody like that, like stepping out of their way to be like, hey, you know, like
We care.
I want to give you just one little thing that's like a piece of like humanity, you know, and like reach out to you and like give you like
Try to pull you back in.
Yeah.
You know.
And like once you start something like any of this, you know, what I mean, the giving away, the donation stuff,
yeah, dude.
like it makes you want to do more. Like
Mhm.
I mean, it would starting community gardens is something, you know what I mean? Just somewhere you can grow food and just give it to people that need food.
Yeah.
Like I've never understood that, and like in a city set, you know what I mean, like a city
Yeah.
setting, like why do they have all these useless plants
For
just to
real.
make the city look pretty?
Yeah,
Instead of having
they
fruit
make
trees.
it like illegal to
You
grow
know what I mean?
anything
Yeah,
in
you
your
can't
front
even,
yard.
yeah,
and
you
stuff.
can't even grow your own food.
There's a guy
Collect your own
growing food in
rainwater.
his front yard in Mount Pleasant when I was walking my dog around. And I was like, that's,
That's
cool.
awesome.
You know, he's got
Yeah.
tomatoes right there.
Yeah,
and he doesn't
absolutely.
have to worry
And
about
a lot of
people
people
coming
do
up
that
and
so
fucking with
people
the
can
shit.
just grab it.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you could just have a row of vegetables or fruit trees down in that little spot between the sidewalk and
Yeah.
the road.
be honest, you know, like I didn't always think this way either, you know. Like,
Oh, me neither.
Because I think having a kid really changed me a lot.
Oh, me too.
Big time, big
you know?
time, yeah.
But
Yeah, being
the
a
best
dad
thing.
is...
like I had a kid when I was like 19, but I never really like was able to like be around her as a father like on a regular basis and stuff. So it's a different experience though, like having my son and like being around him every day, raising him, being responsible for him and stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's changed me about like not just thinking about myself as much, you know.
Because you can't anymore, man.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like you're almost last on the list when it comes to having a wife and kids. And,
Yeah.
For sure.
you know, I mean, your
But it
priorities have
makes
to
you
come
realize,
last.
yeah, and that's what makes
But then you
realize
realize
in the bigger picture
Your
that
priorities aren't
ever
priorities.
first. You
Your
know?
priorities aren't your priorities
should
anymore.
should not ever be first.
Yeah.
You know, unless your priority is, you know, taking care of your family, taking care of, you know, shit like that. You know, it's like, well, I think that it just helps, like, in the bigger picture, just realizing that sometimes it's not all about us. You know?
Yeah.
And that's why giving back to people that not necessarily need a lot, but just seeing that somebody helps them a little bit, you know, could give them that boost, you know.
Oh, dude, absolutely.
Yeah, that's just what I think. And
Tom.
Sherry, I wanted to say that too, is Sherry Poverante. I met her a couple years ago, I think, and she's such a wonderful lady. She actually was director for the Isabella County Restoration House for a while. Now she's working as a director or something at the Humane Society. And she's just always done this volunteer work for people. And, you know, she always kind of keeps my motors going and motivates me, you know, and gives me that boost sometimes, just seeing the posts and stuff that she from other people of how, you know, she's helped them. Now they have a job, they have a home, you know. At the homeless shelter, you had mothers with children and stuff that were just in a tough spot, you know, and sometimes all they need is someone like her, you know, to just give that boost, you know. It's crazy, but that's why I was saying that was really cool that you were setting up that haircutting thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
it's exciting.
Yeah, man, a lot of those people too that do that, like you're saying, you know, like they've had trauma in their life too, or an experience with homelessness or something like that too, you know what I mean? So it's not like just anybody stepping out and doing that. Usually it's always somebody that's had that experience. It's crazy.
I agree.
It's hard to, you know, it's hard to put yourself in other people's shoes, but it's almost what you have to try and do. You have to treat everybody like they're you,
right,
in another form. You know what I mean? Like, it comes right down to the treat everybody like you want to be treated thing, but
it's
gotta,
hard
like,
for
you
people.
don't know what they've been through. Man.
It's
you
hard to
They
imagine.
could be an asshole to you, but maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe they had a terrible morning. Maybe they've had a terrible life.
Yeah.
You don't know until you can sit down and.
It's good to expose yourself to different experiences because of that. Like, always realize like somebody has it worse. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. When I was growing up, I was involved with like a church and stuff, and they would send us to like mission trips and stuff. You know, and we'd always go to this Navajo reservation, and it was like super broke down. You know, and it would help them like build houses or like redo whatever they got, or like, you know, clean out pens for their animals, stuff like that. But like, it was all stuff to do with church or whatever too. You know, like, they built like a big ass like facility there for that kind of thing too.
Yeah.
And you know, like, you see these people just in like crazy ass poverty, like right in America. You know, they're just like not getting any help because they're not like, maybe, I don't even know what the problem was, you know, maybe they're not like federally recognized or something like that. But no, those people weren't getting checks, you know what I mean? They're still living in like teepees and stuff like that, you know. And I was like, I thought I had it bad because my mom and dad weren't around or whatever, you know what I mean? And like, these kids like way beyond that. There's like sexual trauma, you know, like human trafficking, like crazy shit going on.
Human trafficking
you know?
is such a bad thing.
Yeah, that's like the girl that won the contest. You know, she was kidnapped as a kid and fucking put into sex trafficking and shit. She has a tattoo that says like, to know real happiness, you must know real pain or something like that. It's crazy.
But
that
that's
he
true.
gave her.
Oh my god.
That is on her every day, like a reminder. You know what I mean?
gave her that?
Yeah, so it's like a reminder all the time. So we're gonna cover that. it's just this crazy story, you know.
Yeah, and there's
There's
so many
people out there
there
with real fucking trauma, you know. So I always try to realize like my problems aren't really problems, you know. Like
Yeah.
they're just like issues.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, you know,
And a lot of times
I could
those
deal
people
with
just
it.
like they get shut out or they feel you know, like closed out from society, you know, because they don't get like to share their experiences, or they feel like that they're not good enough because of stuff that happens, and that's what it is again. It's just like helping somebody out, you know, and being nice to your neighbor and becoming friends with people, and
Yeah.
holding the door open.
yeah,
It's
like
like-
a lot of people need to throw politics out the window. They need to throw all of that stuff out the window and just look
Yeah.
at people who they are for a human being, you know, and start looking
Dude,
at.
it's
you
hard
know, like-
nowadays.
It is, because most
Social
people aren't
media,
looking away
dude.
from their screens.
It's
and
an
that's all you
algorithm,
see.
yeah, and it only wants to show you what you hate, you know what I mean, or what you're against, and like what you're gonna argue against, or like, because that's what it just wants engagement. on it.
Exactly.
That's all the algorithm cares about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
What
don't.
you
They don't want to
engage
show you
with,
things
like
you
we
want.
talked about earlier. What
Yeah.
you engage with, or what you shit you post about is the shit the bad experiences you had, or the negativity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then other people, so you're like, fuck Trump, you know, and then all
Yeah.
these people are like, I love Trump,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
whatever it
Yeah,
is. you
just
know?
so it's keeping people, but that algorithm is built just to keep people on there.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
And you keep
For
people
more
arguing, but it's
Yeah.
like
They're
these
just trying to get
people
you
were
on
your
there
friends
longer.
4 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like these people were
Yeah.
close to you 4 years ago, and now you guys hate each other because somebody hates Trump and somebody likes Trump.
They're
It
deleting
shouldn't
their own
matter.
mothers and
It shouldn't,
stuff.
like,
you know?
Pay attention to your local stuff. Like nobody pays any attention to their local votes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do you know who your garbage
Sheriff
commissioner is, or your sheriff,
Oh, yeah.
or your prosecuting attorney in your? You know what I mean? Nobody
more
knows any
important.
of that, but we all know that Trump might have gotten peed on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
or
crazy,
that
yeah.
Obama. I mean, and none of that matters. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? In the scope of things, like has who's been president ever really like affected any of you guys in your personal lives?
No.
No.
But,
not
but
directly,
but your neighbor, has your neighbor directly affected you? Or
every
like,
single day.
Exactly. So I mean, why pay such attention
Dude.
to all this stuff that's way out there that
yeah.
we only
America's
see through
so
our
big,
phones?
too.
And that's what people have to realize, though, is that, you know, there's money in separation.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, if they can separate people to be able to buy blue and also buy red, then they're gonna sell both of them.
Exactly. If
You know
somebody's
what I'm
selling
saying?
both of them,
And,
they're
like,
selling both of them.
It's business in the end of it, you know, and
I am
these
getting hot,
algorithms,
guys.
but these algorithms are built to separate. Like you said, you know, like they want engagement, so they put negative stuff in front of you,
Yeah.
and it's
Well-
like, what were you saying?
And I mean, like, society for so long was like so like desensitizing, like the whole culture on Facebook. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, everybody was on that like depressed, lonely vibe, and like no one really wants to talk about it. Like they'll say like, yeah, I'm like upset, or I'm like not feeling cool or whatever. But you know, and then like after so long, people are just so like, man, whatever.
It's
The
like
only like normal
the boy
thing
who
to
called
them.
wolf, or cried wolf. You know, it's like they see it. They're only showing you the negative stuff. So now when you see negative stuff,
It's your natural instinct to just react negatively now.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like not the norm to be like caring and be like, you know, you're feeling upset and message somebody and be like, you know, like I seen your post, like you want to meet up for coffee and talk. Like that's not normal now.
it
No.
should be.
Everybody wants to hang out with like a big group of people and be at like the club and get hammered and like keep
Yeah.
feeding this desensitization of themselves. It's just
Yeah.
like
Well,
it
it all
only go
comes
on
down.
for so long.
Yeah, it comes down to like, because people live their lives by social media now. You know what I mean? It's like I've noticed it a lot with my teenage daughters and stuff. Like they have social brownie points now, and
Yeah.
but they're only seeing the best parts of everybody's lives.
Yeah.
Nobody posts when they have a shitty day. I mean, some people do, but and then it's just usually them crying about having a shitty day. But like, you don't see
Right.
people struggle on Facebook or on Instagram.
Like, here I am in
You
Machu
see,
Picchu.
oh yeah, look at all this
Yeah,
fun
exactly.
I'm having.
And it's
And
so
it's-
dog eat dog now. It's like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, you're
Yeah.
doing good, somebody's got to do better, or like you're doing bad, like
Oh,
sucks to
yeah.
be you.
Like nobody's gonna take a picture of them in their house being dirty. They'll clean the area that they're gonna take
Yeah.
their picture in
Yeah.
That's the
and take their picture, so that nobody thinks they have a dirty house. And it's like, well, this is life. Like this is who
comparison,
you are.
bro.
This isn't.
That's the
You're
killer.
only trying to compete with fake people,
Yeah.
with people that are doing the exact same thing you're doing.
Yeah.
They're doing the exact same thing and
Yeah.
just showing you their
It's
best
like
life.
That Netflix original Black Mirror.
Yeah.
You know, where they're sitting
Black
there on
Mirror.
those bikes and they're just like
Yeah, social
consuming all
points.
of that social points.
Yeah.
It's
I
really
think-
what it
Because
is.
part of it is like it's a business for a lot of people. You know what I mean? A
Yeah.
brand or whatever. Their life is it's all connected now. You,
But
you
I
can't,
think-
you never can turn it off now. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Oh, I
That
thought
was just
that
the plan, dog.
Yeah.
But no, I get it. But it's like the people that we need to be doctors, and the people that we need, you know, to be Navy, you know, whatever. You know,
The
those
baker.
people, those people are now feeling obligated to change what they're doing because they're not that what you know, like their profession isn't accepted because they see so and so over here getting 10,000 likes because she's over in this place taking pictures of herself half naked instead of this chick going to college and becoming
Going in debt, hella bad.
yeah, you
Yeah,
know,
going
even
in
that
debt,
right
to
now,
live in
yeah,
debt and-
or even going into some like trade that she wanted to, you know.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's like the only thing that people are giving, you know, credit to is like social influencers, you know, and it's like those guys are like,
Yeah, younger people. You know.
yeah, younger people
For
you
sure.
know. And that's what's sad, like the Fire Festival,
Yeah.
you know, like that's a perfect example. You can be a complete fraud
Yeah.
and just, hey guys, come take a bunch of pictures of me with a sweet yacht.
Yeah.
And then they
Then throw a festival and feed people
millions.
Oh,
of
yeah,
dollars.
cheese
yeah. Oh, I know what
sandwiches.
you're talking about, that
Yeah.
documentary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
and then
Fire
just
Fest.
taking millions of dollars, and like that really happened. You
Yeah.
know?
Not even that. Really happened like 2 years ago. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't
But
even.
people do that all the time. Like, there's a guy that's like a success mentor on YouTube that's like, oh, here I am in my Lamborghini, and he's not even his. He just
Yeah,
like
he rents
rented
them.
it from
Yeah.
an exotic car place for the day.
Yeah, that's
In which,
The people
I
are
mean,
going to
even when that
drastic
happens,
ends.
though, it's like, as long as the message is positive that you're trying to put out,
Yeah.
whether or not you're kind of a fraud about it or not.
Right,
But if
yeah.
your message is positive and it brings people joy and it makes
Like
them go,
Lil
oh man,
Dicky.
I'm
That's a
gonna
good
get up and I'm gonna
question.
do my shit.
Like,
Like
what's
Lil
more
Dicky,
important, you know?
like Little Dicky. He's like, save that money with that. Have you ever
Yeah,
heard
That's
that?
a fucking sick song.
Yeah.
dude.
Have you seen the video on
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Dude, that's so funny. Everything in that video was free. Like,
Yeah,
it was
he
just-
could have done all that without saying anything, and they would have thought he was a baller. Though.
Exactly,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, he's just exposing like
Being
how fake
humble,
it is.
man.
Yeah, he is. He's just like saying, hey, like,
Everything's fake on there, dude.
everything's fake. Like, these people don't own these cars.
Yeah.
The majority of them lease it.
Yeah, so it's important to like know. Like I guess it kind of started with this about like your why. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
why you do it is the most important thing. You know, just because then you don't get caught up in all that other shit really, because you're like, this is why I'm doing this. That's not for the attention. It's not for the likes. This is what makes me happy. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a motivational speaker. Oh, what's his name? Eric. I can't think of it. But he's on a few videos and stuff that I watch. But one of them is remember your why, and that it goes.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it goes right on the same basis of what you're saying. It's just like if you don't have motivation, remember why you started doing what you're doing
Yeah.
in the first place instead of.
It got so much easier to be that way when you have
Yeah.
a kid, you know, because I didn't give a shit about myself as a younger guy. So I get
I
money,
say that all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
I got it that day. We would just buy Jaeger shots and Red Bull that night, you know,
That
and
was-
that's
that was-
all I bought.
That was me. Like I got to a point where I was blacked out most of the week.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And then I seen where my friends were all, you know, I seen where people had, and I
yeah, man.
I had my kids, and I was just like, man, I don't know. I stopped it all, and I quit drinking, but maybe once a year, and then
Yeah,
it's always a fun time for everybody else involved.
yeah.
I never get to remember. Everybody's like, oh man, that was so much fun. I was like, really, tell me about it, you
Yeah.
know? But
Yeah, dude.
but yeah, it was just like kids. It just changes everything, man. Because like you said,
Yeah.
I was self-destructive. I didn't care. I didn't care.
Yeah.
I want join the 27 Club, be a fucking hero. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude,
But then you have a kid, and it's just like that's your why, man. That's your everything. That's
Yeah.
the one thing you have to do. That's you.
yeah,
It's a
you
little
don't need to
tiny,
find a reason.
It's a little
anymore.
tiny you.
You can
You know what I
let
mean?
yourself
Yeah.
down, but you can't let your family
Exactly.
down. You can't let your mom down. You
Yeah.
can't let your dad down.
My big like drinking period was during my apprenticeship, man. Like, because every night we would always drink, like, and it would get thrashed. The whole shop is thrashed, like beer, pong every night, you know. So there's beer splashed everywhere because they would not play with water in the cups. They had to play with beer in the cups, you know. And it's dirty because it's a tattoo
So
shop. Sometimes
dirty.
the ball's like landing in the garbage.
That's the only way to do it, though. That's
well,
the only way to do
We
it.
have to go buy a new ball now, you know, like, or wash down out.
Just rinse it off in beer. It's got alcohol in it.
Yeah, just put some, you know, soap
Don't
on
get-
it.
Yeah, just
Ew.
play one
Nah,
round
but-
with vodka or something to
I was always like,
sterilize
can we
the
see
ball.
water? And they're like, no, we had like crazy, like weird games we'd always play every night. But it was fun. It was one of the most fun periods of my life, you know.
Oh yeah.
So,
I mean,
but-
I wouldn't change any of those nights.
I couldn't do
did.
it forever though, you know. Like you can't do that forever, man.
See, like as bad as it
they
was,
don't do
like,
it anymore either, you know. Like we're all kind of grown now, I
I'm
guess.
kind of real happy I started way too early with all of that. You know what I mean? Like I was a real partier in high school,
Yeah.
and it was I got it out of my system quick.
I think I
So
think we had Shiloh like right at the right time for me because I was able to, you know, I had a big ego when I was younger. I was a only child. I was real cocky, you know, and I moved out to California with just one of my buddies, and that put a huge perspective on my life. There's always a story where you get screwed over by your best friend or whatever, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, it put a huge perspective on my life, and you know, coming back here, you know, that just, I don't know, that made me a lot more humble, definitely in that aspect.
yeah, I'll say like the day you messaged me on Facebook and you were like, oh, I noticed you're liking my shit. You know, we should come over and check out my dabber. We can do some dabs and stuff. Like, you know, like that day changed my perspective on life. Like, just the direction I was going.
Yeah, because you took
know,
the biggest dab you've ever had.
I
in your
took the
life.
biggest dab. He was like,
That'll
how
change
big
your
of a
life.
dab you want? And I was like, just trying to be, you know, I've done a few dabs
biggest
in my
dab.
life. Yeah.
He's like, biggest dab you can give me.
Biggest one you can give me. And then I was underneath this porch just coughing and dying
was
and
at
dying
that
and
point.
coughing. It was
Tony
so
had
big.
fucked up.
Oh yeah, dude. He was like, there was a
It hurt so bad.
sweat trail out the door when he left. It was just, he was coughing and.
But from that moment, though, I was like, I've been doing drywall since I was 16, sweeping floors and stuff, you know, and then started professionally as soon as I was out of high school at 17. And then it was just like, that's my life, you know what I mean? I'm just going
You
to
hated
work
it,
for the
though,
company
or-
store. I liked it at the beginning.
Okay.
You know, it was cool. I loved the people I worked with. The environment was good, but it was just a toll, man. It took a toll on my body. It was
Basically.
just so much of everything, lifting all day or walking stilts all day, you know?
Yeah, that's.
And then I just got this opportunity. He's like, hey, man, you just want to come trim with me or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we just started working. And then, like I said, then we started planning Vivid Farms. We started planning Mountain Town Farmers Alliance.
So you didn't really know.
He's my
At
cousin,
first.
but I barely knew him.
You
like
didn't know much
growing up.
about weed at all either.
Oh, I
growing
knew
up?
everything.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, not about growing weed, but
Okay.
But like
He
I've been,
definitely knew
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that.
I've been a consumer since I was way too
but
young
when you
to be a
came in, he
consumer.
was able to be like, all right, I'm gonna teach you how to trim, and then it was
Yeah.
like one thing at a time.
Exactly, and
you
then
got
then
it.
we started
So
doing
that's like
a
an
little bit of room
apprenticeship
work,
too,
and
man. That's
I started doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that, you know,
Yeah.
and now I can run the whole crew if I need to. If he's out of town
Yeah.
or whatever, I can make sure that everything's fed and everything's watered.
for sure. Yeah.
If somebody has a question, I can answer it. I couldn't have answered that question 6 years ago.
You know, he
Yeah.
was. You know, Tony went from, in 5 years, learn how to water plants to help build a SOP, standard operating procedures for this commercial micro business license. You know, so
You said how many years?
in
5.
5 years.
Yeah, dude.
You know? So I mean,
It's a good amount of years to put into anything, you know, where you
Yeah.
get a lot of knowledge. And,
And that was the thing is, like, I got the opportunity, and then I thought about it. I knew it wasn't gonna, it wasn't nearly as financially stable as my drywall gig was.
Sure.
But I knew if I couldn't give 100%, then it wasn't gonna be worth it. And I was
Yeah.
finally just like, all right, I want to let my boss know, and I'm like,
Yeah,
this is where I'm going with it. And he was supportive, and I'd worked for the same company pretty much my whole life.
yeah.
And it was family, and they understood, and
That
went
could
off
be
and did my thing. And then now it's everything I'd ever hoped for. Like that was
me water.
when I was 14. I was thinking
Yeah.
all I ever wanted to do was I just want to do something with pot
Yeah.
professionally. Like I was just a little stoner, but I was just like that's what I wanted. That's what I want. That's what I want.
Yeah,
I want to own a pot store one day. I want to grow weed. I want to do this. I want to do that. And then I just never figured it would happen.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, then it happened.
Yeah.
I couldn't be happier.
So, like, I always knew I wanted to, like, have tattoos, you know. I never knew I was going to do them like that, you know. Like, but I can relate to the whole, like, learning aspect and, like, going over 5 years of, like, you know, just this is...
Yeah, you're picking away, just like with anything, you know what I mean?
You know where
Doing
you're
drywall.
at your 5-year mark. You know, you got the hang of it. You could run the shop if you wanted to.
Have you heard of the 10,000 hour rule?
Yeah.
You said something about that.
It's
yeah.
like, it's like 10,000. That's like what, I don't know who says it or whatever. If you like Google it or whatever,
Somebody
it's
important.
Like it's like a rule basically, or like a rule of thumb that like an expert has spent like 10,000 hours or more in their craft or whatever, you know. So like if you calculate it, it takes like 5 to 8 years or whatever, depending on how much time you're putting into it, you know. I think it's like depends on quality time too. You know, there's different kinds of time you could put into stuff. Because I know people have been doing different crafts, like tattooing, for a long time. That just stop trying to like push themselves to grow at a certain point too, or learn anything.
Oh yeah, because they get comfortable.
Yeah, you get complacent in an idea
well, before
that's where I was at when I left California. You know, like my work looked exactly like my boss's work.
Yeah.
I had like gotten to the point where like I was, the first one in the shop, last one out. I was running a lot of stuff, making I felt like it was a lot of money, but it wasn't,
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, it was good for me,
Yeah.
But I was just like, I wanted to grow beyond that too, and I felt like maybe I couldn't at that shop, or like it would be a catalyst if I left, and they say like, like spread your wings anyways and try to learn from as many people as you can, so your style is really diverse or unique.
Yeah, I gotta say, like I've never really seen a watercolor style. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not like your style is. Your tattoos are amazing. I love the way
Thank
the watercolor looks. Like it's
Sorry,
just.
I mean, Sorry. Hell, 7 joints in.
I
am the shit, huh?
I am the shit.
Yeah.
No,
You
but-
sure are,
but
though.
thank
I mean,
you,
you
dude.
should
I
be proud of it.
appreciate
I mean, it's a style that not a lot of people see. It's a style that, and it looks amazing every time you post one of those pictures. It's crazy. I love the style.
Smoke one for right now.
Yeah,
No,
I think
but-
the style's changed a lot over the years too. Probably like how your growing's probably changed a lot over the years. But I think going to conventions a lot, putting yourself around other people that are willing to share information and stuff. That was big. Like
That's
you
what
said,
she
with cannabis
started
cups
to
and
realize
stuff
too. Is like, before you go, get Shiloh. I wanted you to, talk about like what do you think as far as marketing, being in the the service industry and stuff, like for young women, what's a good marketing or a good tip for them to benefit their business or benefit their plan for their business.
I don't know. There's a lot. Like, that's not just like a one-ended question or answer. I mean, like, you gotta be... I think transparency is key. Like, you can't be like a very negative person and try to give off this crazy, positive, self-loving brand. I don't know, and don't get too excited. Like, be realistic with yourself. Don't try to, like, get the perfect logo your first time, because then you don't have as much room for growth and expansion and, like, your 2.0 product or whatever your next big thing's gonna be, Like,
I like what you said, like transparency is like it's being honest, right?
Yeah, like
who you
Just
are.
being you, man.
Yeah, you can't hide stuff. Everything. I think transparency is one of the biggest things that consumers follow, and that's because they don't like being lied to. If you put a guarantee on something, there better be a guarantee on that. And if you say if you
On
say
the internet, they love calling people out on their bullshit.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
if you say that you're gonna give somebody a perfect haircut, it better be a perfect haircut. A lot of people in the service industry, with cosmetology or with auto care and stuff, sometimes you got a mechanic that'll just be like, oh yeah, I can do that. Yep, I can change your transmission out in your motor, no problem. That'll be about $8,000 in 2 weeks, and then 2 months later you're like, hey dude, I gotta use my car. He's like, oh man, I got flux capacitors going out in it, and it's like, you never know. There's people that are out there that are lying about who they are. But I think that if you can build a trustworthy brand and an honest brand where people, you know, can believe what you're advertising, believe what you're saying, and believe who in you as a person. Instead, I think your brand,
then you don't have to depend on like the gimmicks or like how do I get this many people, because you don't have to have thousands of followers. You just need like a few quality ones, you know what I mean? You just need like the people that are aligned with you,
and I think that's
what you're about.
Social media like comes in big. Is like you can just get a cult following.
Yeah, you can expose
you can just
yourself.
you can get enough people on your side that it doesn't matter what you say or what you do, because you know they'll always be there.
Yeah, dude, for a tattoo artist, is like you don't need a magazine to put your fucking work in anymore.
No,
you don't need that.
It goes with everything. Singers, you know what I mean? Like, look how many people are just hitting it on SoundCloud or hitting it on YouTube.
You don't
or
need
just
a major label.
No. Major labels are scared right
Make your
now.
own
You know what I
label.
mean? They start making their own streaming services.
But they
and shit,
should,
just
because those are craft musicians. Those are craft artists.
Exactly.
You know? Those are stick built.
Well, some of the biggest artists now are like off YouTube. You know, Taylor Swift was a YouTube artist.
Justin
You gotta
Bieber
work.
started.
A lot of times you gotta work for that. Like even SoundCloud, you gotta work for that. You know.
Oh yeah, but you're putting in all the work, and that's the difference. Is like you can respect somebody because they're putting in all the work. They don't have producers and all these people behind them. So like you're working your ass off to get that music out on time and to make sure that your video's out when your people need your videos out.
Yeah, you're investing your extra money.
And that goes back to like transparency. It's like people appreciate your struggle. Like maybe not when you're struggling.
No.
But like once you get there, people are like, oh, like you've been through some shit. Like that's kind of cool. Like you went from there to there.
Yeah, everybody wants to read that struggle story at the end.
Yeah.
Dude, people love that kind of a story, right?
Oh, yeah. You get an
story.
autobiography, and you got a good struggle in the beginning
And
of that
a lot of
thing.
people have that kind of story,
Oh,
too. That's why it's
does,
relatable, I think. That's why.
what's crazy, though. It's almost like you have to have that story now in order to be credible. You know, like in order for people to care, which obviously everyone goes through a struggle, but that just also goes back to that social media thing where a lot of people react on negativity, where it's like, as long as you went through some of that negativity, I kind of it's like feeling bad for them almost. You know, it's like watching, that's why a lot of girls will watch Lifetime, or, you know, it's like, it pulls on their heartstrings. You know, and once you can get that emotion, you know, that emotional bond to whatever you're trying to, whatever material you're trying to have these people consume, then they're gonna bite on it, you know. And
it's the old kind of like salesy shit doesn't work anymore, you know. Like, hey, buy now. You know?
Like Billy Mays, like OxyClean, like.
And there's people that try that still with every industry, I think, you know. But it's
you hear it on the radio all the time with like car salesmen. They're always screaming at you, like,
oh yeah.
But then
we got some sales, you know.
But then it comes back to like how many people are listening to the radio anymore? You know what I mean? Just like TV, like nobody's listening to terrestrial radio.
Yeah,
everybody's got an aux plug. You know what I mean? They're listening to what they want to listen to when they want to listen to it.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's what's really good about.
And it's like if you want to be successful, like with tattoos or like hair or whatever, like nails, like even weed, like it's best to like under promise and over deliver always, because if you just talk the big talk and you can't, you know, cough it up at the end of the day, you know,
it's a good one. That's totally true.
It's like all that just goes down the drain, you know, all that time talking, all that talk for nothing.
One time you don't put out what people are expecting of you, then
they're gonna eat it alive.
And
they're gonna chew you up, spit you out.
That's the same way probably with tattooing though.
Yeah. For me, like that's why it helps to kind of like focus on what you're best at, you know, and like some people are trying to like be a jack of all trades, you know, and just be master of one. Like instead, it's like instead of I don't know, trying to do all this stuff maybe my machine isn't best at, or I'm not best at, or whatever, you know, like.
Just be honest.
Do all these things that make me uncomfortable or whatever. Just be like, you know, there's enough people requesting tattoos for me to just, you know, just go with the people that like, align with me the best in my style of the art of the work, and then of my like personality too.
Yeah,
like,
that's all.
And the
that's
cool
all that
thing is
transparency.
you've seen a lot of positive feedback from that.
Yeah, people love that. Yeah, they want to work with someone like that. They don't want to just walk in and be another, face or
another number, like at the Secretary of State. Where it's
Same
like,
with weed,
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the
It's all
client,
these-
or with patients, at least maybe not with
Oh,
like
with
the rec side,
patients?
Like,
Oh
they don't
no,
care.
it's
They
the
just
same
wanna
way with
get
the
same
rec
way with
side. I've been
everything,
all
man.
over the country in all these recreational states, and it's the same exact way. When
Patients
you
want to
look
be
at-
seen as like important
Yeah,
patients. You know?
even a consumer for anything. If you're buying a car, you don't want to think that the guy's ripping you off.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to think that you. And a lot of times, you are buying something that you don't even. You know, you're buying something that they're not even advertising. That's worse than what they're advertising. You know, and you know, with cannabis though, if in all these other rec states before Michigan even happened, there was just total honesty in a lot of products. You had brands out there like Mary's Medicinal that was really trustworthy. You know, they just made you feel like it was your grandma's kitchen where all this stuff was made, and when you look at it, you trusted it like it was just, you know, it was what it was, and that's why they do so good, you know. And then it's like you have other companies though that are out there that, you know, let's look at the cannabis industry. You have everyone knows Green Peak Innovations. You know, I'm not a fan of them or whatever, but I'm not going to discriminate against anybody. But you know, people don't really trust them. They tried to outlaw home grows. They tried to outlaw cannabis growers, caregivers from selling their overages to dispensaries just so they could profit more. So what they did was make it so now caregivers out there have to sell all their overages to a cultivation facility instead of just a provisioning center, because the cultivation facilities were getting cut out of all the profits because they had undesirable cannabis. So they were just, you know, lying and saying that they put this huge campaign out and said, fight for clean cannabis and blah, blah, blah. Well, the truth of the matter was all caregiver material that went into provision center had to be tested after a certain date. And they could have just made it so that the provisioning centers had to test everything before it was sold, or the person that brought it off and dropped it off had to have it tested, and it would have saved the consumer about $1,200 to $1,400 on a pound in the long run. So right now we have to sell this stuff to the cultivation facility, then they pay a $450 test, which is the same exact test that we can get for way cheaper from the same testing facilities.
Right.
And then those end up they're $450 on top of buying, let's say, a pound for $2,800. You know, so you're at $3,250 right there for a pound just after that test. Now they're selling it for profit. They have to pay their broker, their person that they're going out there to find this from, their caregivers, and they incorporate so much money a year, so someone else has to get paid and touch the cannabis before
They're doing all this under the guise of like regulation. Like,
they're doing it all under
clean.
safety.
Like if that a caregiver
Quote,
is
unquote,
not
safety.
responsible enough to to.
They're saying that
put it
our
through.
products are dirty, in which, like, they've now allowed for these licensed facilities to have way more pesticides than we would ever. We were ever allowed to have in our medicine.
Like we were never allowed to.
We would throw away products that they would sell because of the amount of pesticides that are allowed in their products.
Yeah, like there's a couple of them.
Because they're doing like mass grows, or
oh yeah, well it's because you have like a place in Saginaw that has 37,500 plants under one roof.
Wow.
And they're obviously they're trying to get their cost per gram down as low as possible, so they're going to hire as little amount of people, talented people as they can, for X amount of money. Which
just laborers,
basically farmhands, and they're going to try to get them to grow the best cannabis, blah blah blah. Well, then you see all over the state that they're holding them ransom if they don't perform, or if the billion of plants that they have to watch over end up getting a pest or a mold or something in it, then they don't get paid, so they feel obligated to spray these chemicals on it. So then they spray this chemical and that chemical that you can, as long as you flush and as long as you wash off, then you can,
just like our food.
Yeah, just like our food, but even like worse. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, we have one one chemical that I know that started out being allowed at 0.5. Got you. That started out being allowed at 0.5 parts per million. And within 9 months, in the different releases of the adjustments to the pesticide levels, it went up to 2 parts per million. So it went up 400% that it was allowed now on the cannabis, because obviously it was, I mean, in my opinion, these big grows can't produce enough cannabis. That's why they're still taking, overages from all these caregivers. So they have to keep raising the allowed limit of pesticides on the cannabis in order to have this cannabis pass. They have grows that are growing hundreds of pounds and stuff. We're not allowed to grow anywhere near that, but we're held to the same standards. So
you think, like, instead of having so much, like, regulation on testing or whatever, that it would be better just to have, like, several smaller growers, like
I think
people
like,
that can have more of a controlled, like, amount.
I think
You think that would help?
I think that's where, like, because when the micro business licenses come through and stuff,
Yeah,
that's where it's going to hit big.
That's what you guys.
That's
you need
like-
to be able. Listen, like, you need to be able to touch every single plant every single day.
Exactly.
These plants need to be looked over by human hands. I mean, I understand there's robots growing commercial weed, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't believe in that. I believe in compassion from the beginning of that conception of that seed to the end of that harvest. You have to care about that plant.
It's like a living thing.
It is a living thing. They know. Plants can read our intentions, 100%. I firmly believe that. There was a study with the Smithsonian
Where they
channel or whatever.
the
Yeah,
roots and stuff.
Yeah.
where they like communicate through the roots somehow.
that one too. But there's a big story about these boars in Africa eradicating these bushes, and these bushes communicating with this, eventually through evolution, communicating downwind with other plants by secreting this poisonous like smell, and it vapor, and it goes up into the air, travels through the wind, and the other plants received that and knew what they needed to do in order to save the future of the plant's life, from all the boars. And it's like, if you don't go into these rooms and care about what you're doing, which means not caring about just getting the most possible money and blah blah blah, and just or just getting a paycheck at the end of the day, then these plants are going to be way better, way easier to take care of. You're not going to need as much, you won't have as many pest issues. You won't have as many, because
It's the ethics thing again. You know what I mean? It's like, what do you put first, like the profit or the patient,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
quality
and
over
you're looking
quantity
at-
all,
you wanna say
all the
it,
time.
yeah.
You're looking at these plants. You're spending time with them, and that's why if anything's on it, you're gonna notice. There's no fucking robot that's gonna tell you.
That's warm.
It's gonna be able to check a plant for powder mildew or fucking spider mites like you are. There might be one that's gonna treat it better than you are, because it's got some robotic arm that can go in every crazy thing around the. I don't care about that,
shit.
but you won't have it if you notice it, And if you're in there every single day and you touch these plants every single day, nothing's gonna get past you. Not one
Right.
thing. It's prevention before you have to, put anything on there. It's always prevention. There's ladybugs. There's so many different things that you can do, and these big grows can't do that because they're running all of these pesticides on them, and then that'll kill all the ladybugs too. So then you don't have, any way to use beneficial biology to take care of those problems, and it's like it's a double-edged sword for them, because they end up having to use this stuff, and that's why I don't think that there should be a license that should be anything bigger than 1,500 plants. Ever.
Yeah, is that what you're saying? Like that you think like the micro business license would be?
Because it'll only be
beneficial?
150 plants,
and that's
like
gonna,
that's what you get.
Increase quality,
But
like,
it's gonna
overall.
be like it's craft. Like that's gonna be craft. Those are gonna be the mom and pop stores.
And that's a Michigan
Those are gonna
thing,
be the
craft,
ones.
right?
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, it's
Oh.
gonna be huge, and especially with these new. With this
You
new
care about-
emergency ruling, because
You're creating
before-
a brand.
yeah,
That's what you're doing now. Instead of just growing on a commercial license, you're just growing these plants, provisioning center or retail shop, blah blah blah. They're gonna buy it up from you. They're gonna put it in their packaging, and then they're gonna sell it. But when you're doing a micro business, you are legitimately building a brand, and you have a hand in everything from the starting of this genetic, maybe, all the way to the harvesting of the plant, and then the extraction of its terpenes and its precious cannabinoids that are used, for medicinally, and then creating products with those, specifically putting time and care into your labels and your packaging, with obviously child safety in mind, but also consumer, enjoyment on it. You get to choose everything about your product from start to finish.
Right. Because unlike the big ones, the big ones are going to have everybody's products in there. You're going to be able to go into these big stores and buy the same product you buy at the other big store.
Yeah, yeah.
You can buy the same product at this other big store. You can buy all these top shelf main guys.
It's a brand.
But in these micro grows, you're only going to be able to buy the products that we make.
Yeah, yeah.
You can only sell them. You can only sell the stuff that you make at that same facility.
Yeah.
Like your grow, your store, your processing.
You can't sell it to anybody
you can't take
else.
it from anybody else and sell it in your store. So there's gonna be all these different. You can be like, oh man, I really love Vivid Farms Candyland strain. I'm gonna go to Vivid Farms today, and then be like, oh man, I heard about Smith Farms up the road. They have a cool banana kush or something. Let's go try that.
It's almost like the apple cider is out here. Kind of. Like there's apple cider farms. You have to go there, and you can.
If you want specific apple ciders,
and stuff like that,
or all the craft breweries and stuff. That's what's going to make it just perfect. I'm so excited for the micro business stuff.
Because,
and with these new rulings that came through, though,
it's all about the experience, though, too. I mean, imagine this, bro. Imagine not being able to pick your consumers, right? But imagine just, you just having a window like this big where you did your tattoo on. You had no idea what was on the other side of that wall. You just had a wall right there. So you went to work every single day, and then all you did is had an arm that came up to a window and you did tattoos. You had no idea what kind of experience they were having on the other side of that wall. That's what a commercial grower is like.
Yeah, it's all about bottom line.
Yeah, it's like
it's just about how much you can make.
And that's all you see of it. You don't know if your product that you put all this time in, if someone can do the research to know this is your strain that came, you don't know if it's going to be sold next to a product or a company that you don't support or that has been against this industry. Personally, one of the biggest motivations for micro business is I will never have to sell one of my products next to one of these people that I really do not appreciate in this industry, you know, and I would never want it to be side by side. If somebody wants to support that, let them support that. I'm glad that there's access, don't get me wrong, but
the micro business license, your product can't be sold at like a dispensary.
Nope.
You have to sell it yourself, kind of.
Yes. Yeah, we get to cultivate, we get to process, and which means processing is obviously anything from trimming to running the extractions into edibles and to pens and
anything that changes it from weed into something else.
You're just gonna have issues like monetizing like ads for it or something online, right?
That's then we have retail too. We have
you could still find people though. Like it's still gonna be.
I mean, there's a dispensary that posts ads and stuff on Facebook. But they just they don't have any pictures of weed.
You can't put money behind the ad though, really. Right? That's the issue.
You can as long as there's no weed attached to it.
But there's other cannabis marketing
so if it's about weed.
So like weed maps, there's other places like people don't really,
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, people don't really go to Facebook to find a provisioning center,
Google it. It's gonna pop up on weed maps and stuff. That'll be And then you could have a delivery service probably, right?
Yeah.
That's a good idea because that was really big at first in California.
That's going to be one of our biggest features is we're going to have a huge delivery radius.
But then they've also just made the adult use clubs legal too.
Yeah.
So it could be like a bar basically.
Is that part of what were you saying?
That's part of the new emergency rules. Yeah.
So what is that?
So with that, I was just watching a video. It was Cannabis Live. Is that what those lawyers are or something?
Yeah.
So I was just watching their video, and they had the director of the new. I think it's the MMR board. Is that what's the name of the recreational board? Yeah. Okay. But yeah, he said basically so that they've noticed in all these other states that have done it that they eventually get to these clubs. Like these clubs eventually come in.
Yeah.
And he said that they wanted to implement it immediately because it's going to bring in so much more tourism.
Smart.
Because a tourist comes in, you're like, all right, I'm going to Colorado. It's legal there, bop, bop, bop. You buy a big bag of weed. Where are you supposed to smoke it?
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah,
you can go to your hotel room. You can go behind a bar or somewhere, hide in an alley and try and smoke some weed.
Colorado.
Yeah.
For smoking in my hotel room. I mean, you couldn't even You couldn't even vape or anything anywhere. Like you had to go. They had like a smoking ban in downtown Denver, so you only have like these hotels by like a 4 foot by like 6 foot spot where you can stand and people smoke cigarettes. So you got like 3 people like this who are trying to just hit a vape, and not look like.
But they're going to allow people to do, because in California they do that too, where it's just like a group, and then it would be a bunch of maybe micro businesses like that. They come with like products, and then everyone has like a booth maybe, and they all have like
or even if they also have the social clubs too. So like even if you go to a dispensary or something, buy some. you can still just go into the social
almost
club,
like a bar,
and smoke.
It's like a bar, and they even now they're allowing these social clubs to sell. So I'm not even sure what the
well, there's a difference. I think they said there was a distinction between a social club and an adult use club.
Yeah, adult use.
And I think the adult use club works like a bar.
Yeah.
In which I don't know if it's just the company that's running the thing can sell, or if patrons can come in. Like you can come in and sell your stuff to this guy, like you were saying. Like they'd have booths set up.
Yeah, like
I'm
a
not
farmer's
sure.
market.
But it's a spot where a tourist can come in and smoke. Like where they can legally smoke. They couldn't legally smoke if it wasn't there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless you knew somebody in Michigan, or
You know,
so he said that was a big
Rick
thing.
Thompson
He's like, because it's going to bring in.
There's something that Rick Thompson put out today. Okay, we got all these new avenues where recreational marijuana is going to be accessible, right? Well, we have a production problem right now. Right now, we have the commercial market has access to 100,000 plants total. That's what's approved right now to grow is 100,000 plants. Okay, now the caregiver system. There's 90,000. Somebody, Andrew Brisboe. I'm done with that. I'm stoned. But Andrew Brisboe posted a statement saying that there was 90,000 caregivers in 2018, or 90,000 patients
in Michigan. Or?
In Michigan. You know, or no, it was 90,000 caregivers. My bad.
Oh, okay.
So 90,000 caregivers. You're allowed to have 5 patients per caregiver, right?
Yeah.
One or the other. I'm stoned right now. But either way, though, it's either caregivers or patients. I don't know. I could look it up real quick. Maybe I should. But basically, if you take 5 patients per caregiver and you add the 12 plants that you're allowed per patient, that's like 1.2 or 1.4 million plants.
Okay. Plus 12 for yourself.
Yeah, or
your 5 patients plus yourself.
So the caregivers right now, the bottom line of that is the caregivers right now are growing 10 times, over 10 times the amount that the entire recreational and medical system has the capability of growing right now. And there's no way that they could just stop taking cannabis from caregivers.
Yeah.
Because there's no way they couldn't allow caregivers. I hope this is what they're doing with the adult use club, is allowing like a farmer's market type donation basis, because you know it's the caregivers in the state produce the majority of the best cannabis in the state. They've done the research for the past, you know, legally, what, 12 or 11 years? Yeah,
going on
through
12.
11, 12 years they've been, you know, looking for these genetics, and that's just since it's been legal. They've been sourcing the best medicinal things. You got Michael Thew from Great Lakes hemp, or Great Lakes Hemp Supplements
Supply, I think.
or Great Lakes Hemp Supply.
Oh, yeah. I feel bad, Michael. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. But he, you know, he's making and growing some of the best CBD dominant strains, which are pure medicinal.
Yeah.
You know, there's not really a profit, you know, in mind off of that, unless you're making specific, you know, CBD products. But he puts a lot of time and work to source, you know, certain cherries from up there to make these cherry drops, and
which he's been through a lot too. Like that's a guy we need to have here and have a talk with, because like I mean he's fell on hard times. You
know, he's been through a lot. He's been in this cannabis community since the beginning, and he's definitely you know, he went and started school when I first met him on Facebook, and ended up just, I think, graduating last year, the beginning of this year, and now I'm good. And now he's all, you know, he's all doing his thing with his club up there, and he's selling the CBD stuff, and he's helping a lot of good people out and stuff. But
that's what it's all about, man. It's like if we could just all be like that, you know?
Yeah.
Like just like have like a similar consciousness like that.
Yeah.
And which
Like,
I think it's happening.
It's
Like
getting better for sure because of this like open forum conversation
Yeah.
that people are able to have through
Yeah.
like this kind of format. and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. I think like podcasting and stuff, like
Yeah,
you
it's
just get
changed
to
me
know
a lot,
people.
dude.
You know, me too. Like I basically quit listening to music after
Yeah.
podcast came into my life. You know, it's
You
just
learn
like
so much, you know.
you learn about people, and it's just it feels good. You know, just
Yeah.
Yeah.
being able to sit and listen to people have a free form conversation and
But it's
just
just like, and that's what it goes back to is like, they definitely can't shut out the caregivers because they're the people that care.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
All these, and they're realizing that. They're
Yeah, man.
realizing that, dude.
Yeah, because they probably just think a lot of those people are just doing it for profit already too, you know.
Yeah,
And a
but
lot
it's
of
like
them
they
are.
care to keep the market going. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
yeah.
Is they care to keep the market going.
I think that's what their focus was with a lot of these emergency rulings, is to make sure that the caregivers stay in the system and we don't get monopolized out by these big businesses. Like
Yeah,
they make
man.
it reasonable to get a micro business license. They make it reasonable to just.
I mean, think about if the state
crazy.
had to start over with all their genetics. They just have to. They weren't allowed to take them from caregivers.
Yeah.
Caregivers weren't allowed in the market.
There'd be
Like,
2 strains. in the
we
whole
would go
goddamn
back
state.
10 steps in this entire revolution of cannabis. But
Yeah.
you had people like Don Bailey, that piece of shit, and then you had fucking,
God,
you know,
Yeah.
the entire fucking board basically was built of people that
we're
had
against cannabis.
Yeah. like
Our medical cannabis board was built by people that
Yeah.
filled with people that
That's one thing.
were against it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
They
cool.
would-
about
they
They
would
claimed
not
that
benefit from
cannabis could
being
never
profitable.
be medical.
Yeah.
So I guess it's never a medicine; it's always recreational.
It seems like
You're on the medical board.
All the Democrats and shit are kind of like all about legalizing weed, basically, or
Yeah.
whatever, you know.
In which it's coming through, I think, on
And
both
even
sides of the.
It's starting to happen.
you know
Yeah,
what
that's
I
was
mean?
gonna
It's-
say.
But
I
that's
think it
what
has a lot
sucks.
to
It's
do
like,
with-
what the hell?
You hear
Why is it?
conversation about it even on both sides.
Why is there
you know?
not an emergency though? Why is it like if the FDA is allowing human trials now on fucking this Stativex for Dravet syndrome from GW Pharmaceuticals, just because the company's not in the U.S., it's allowed to
Yeah.
create this thing and then have human test trials here. Why is it not being emergency rescheduled? Why are people still being in trouble for this?
Yeah.
If people know they can help people now, if people have, if one person has seen fucking Charlotte's Web story, seen that wonderful man on YouTube get relief from his Parkinson's. You
Yeah,
know?
Yeah, I see that.
You know how if somebody's seen that and they have any heart in their body at all, how do you expect them not to break the law and try to help them with some type of medicine that they could grow in their garden? You know,
Yeah.
that's the problem. Is like, why is there our government not just saying, whoa, we can't, you know, do anything with people with cannabis. This thing,
Yeah.
they're helping people.
Dude.
We
it's
can't
just-
grow enough to help people. They're already growing this. We don't even know how. We've been worrying about politics and
Yeah, and
Yeah.
trying to figure out a way to synthesize
Big
it
money.
instead of actually just worry about growing it.
yeah, and it's like we just
Yeah.
need the shit grown. People need to have accessibility to it. They need to have our cannabinoid receptors need to be frequently used, constantly. You know, CBD needs to be in our diets from
Yeah.
conception. You know, it needs to be 100% used and grown and stuff just like a
You think
grain.
even kids though? I don't know. For me, I think that's like one
CBD
thing.
is completely different though.
Yeah,
CBD
yeah,
comes
okay.
from many things besides just.
That's
Yeah.
the one thing I think with weed is like that I'm not cool. I don't think kids should smoke weed.
No,
yet, you know
no,
what I mean?
No,
No.
absolutely. I'm a firm
No,
believer in
firm
like,
believer in
it.
like
always-
21, 23. Wait till your brain's done
Yeah.
developing. You know.
Sure, yeah.
Even
I mean,
21.
I always try to
honestly,
make that
if you
clear.
got,
you
if
know,
you got
it's
a
a
pass,
distinction.
Yeah.
you know, don't you know, like, don't smoke recreationally like every single day until you're stoned. Like, don't
Yeah.
you know, don't do it for that. If you're growing, don't do it to just be high all day every day, because that's not going to get you anywhere.
Yeah.
It's really
absolutely.
not. You know? And concentrates are a slippery slope. It's just like everyone knows an alcoholic in their family, and no, alcohol is not
Yeah.
nearly as good as cannabis and stuff. But like, everyone's knows an addict in their family, and that is what addicts do. Is they use concentrated
Yeah.
forms like liquor, and you know,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's just like dabs and everything at that young age can really
Oh, yeah.
slow you down on the journey that you're doing, and you know, like
This takes your drive away, you know, or like
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah,
you know,
it
like
can-
the
it
school
can-
would just
it
try to
could,
relax.
you
You
know?
know?
Yeah.
it's just it's just like any substance, you know.
If it's
not-
overdone.
But I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to say, like, medically though, you know what I mean? Like, and it's benefiting kids.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, like that's
Yeah,
that's
like,
got to be good. If
yeah,
the
I've
kid's
seen
got
THC
seizures,
on pediatrics.
yeah.
That's a good point. That's
you
true.
know what I
Like,
mean. So
I've
I mean,
seen
it's
a lot
never,
of
it's
kids-
not always bad. You know what I mean?
Epilepsy is a
Yeah,
huge one.
epilepsy is a
Recreational
huge
use.
one.
And they're not like getting high. Well, I have one
Mhm.
client that has a kid
Some
that
of
with
them are getting
leukemia,
Yeah.
and he gets heavy doses of
But-
THC
but
too.
that's the
But that's
thing.
what helps him.
Yeah,
and
but
he's
it's the entourage
almost
effect,
completely
you know?
cured,
It's the
they
fact
say.
that these heavy doses
Chemo
of
didn't help
THC,
it.
no matter how heavy, it's never going to harm him.
No, it's not.
You know what I mean? And
a
that's the thing, it's
1-to-1
never gonna
ratio,
kill him.
and
That's
it-
true.
it-
Just get some really.
You know what I mean?
hungry-
But all this leukemia medication that they might pump him full of, you know what I mean? It's gonna kill
It
him
did,
off.
dude. He did
And-
chemo
it's all-
first, and then he did radiation, and none of it helped. And he still had cancer, and they sent him home to die. And then he took CBD oil, the RSO,
Yeah.
in heavy doses, and like something I don't know. They have a whole
It's
remedy
probably like a
that
2-to-1 ratio or
Yeah.
1-to-1 ratio.
she came
because,
up with.
honestly,
Her and this doctor worked together, and they, everything he told her to do, she did, and now she's helped other people too with the same thing. Like she's a really
No.
good advocate for that too, because he's
I
like
know
completely.
people in Michigan right now that have brain cancer, or have a son with brain cancer that is really young, really young, 8 years or younger. I'm not sure exactly, but he, there's certain times when THC is needed.
Yeah.
And like sometimes you don't have to use it in a way where it's going to get you high. That's what I was going to say. In a 1-to-1 ratio, you're counteracting all the majority of the psychoactive effects that THC is actually giving you by with a CBD.
By matching it with
Dude,
the CBD.
As a parent, I couldn't imagine being sent home with my kids, telling them there's nothing else we can do. They're gonna die. Just to make them comfortable.
And I think
because if you didn't, now listen, if you didn't feel like that, then you'd have to feel like I'm going to prison. I'm gonna go to prison if there's nothing
a
left
lot of
to give
people
you.
are threatened by that.
Yeah, we have patients that have lost their children. He's going on 40 years now, and October 1st he gets a fight custody back. He's out of Tennessee. Wonderful man, but because the state of Tennessee deemed that he was illegally alive, they took his children, and then they eventually told him that because his children were so emotionally attached to him that his visitation rights were hurting them, and then they basically told him that he won't be able to see them anymore, no visitation rights. And then he had an appeal date, went for that appeal date, and then they told him that even though you passed your drug test now, because they originally said if you don't test clean, you're never going to get your kids back. And then now he went and stopped his cannabis treatment, was getting very ill. His viral count of Hep C went up, and the state told him that he was too sick to ever take care of his kids, and that he would never have his kids again. So they basically condemned him to death in the state and told him that you're not going to be able to get your kids and you're going to die.
That's why I don't trust the system with no decisions. Like that.
After he put a second mortgage on his house,
That's
he's
his
cold,
wife
bro.
passed away.
Yeah, he's got nothing, and then he finally found some hope, got connected to some really good people, and he's received some oil. He's coming up here, he's getting some oil from us, but now he's convinced the only way he can get his kids back is traveling out of state to a legal state, getting residency, and then being legally allowed to have the substance, and then fight custody and that, and then getting
crazy.
better.
People have to go through that stuff.
And then show the courts
Over a
that you're well enough
plan,
to take care of your children. And
So
then,
it's saying someone's always got it worse than you.
Two imaginary lines above him is perfectly legal.
Yeah.
You know what I
just a
mean?
couple
Because he's down two
lines.
imaginary lines in Tennessee. He's keeping himself illegally fucking alive.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy? And then imagine being told that. Imagine the emotions you go through. You're basically in prison now.
Yeah.
You're you got a death penalty. You have no money to go anywhere else to do anything else. So you're basically
Poor guy. That's so crazy, dude.
And it's just like that. But that's what the government does, though. It's like they can't even see stories like that when they're published in High Times on the news all over the place, saying, "Holy cow, this dude is being murdered by the state of Tennessee, dude." They can't even fucking go in there and say, "Hey, whoa," like no president, nobody can go in there and say, "Dude, like stop, this guy's trying to save his life, you're taking his kids, and you're also making him mentally not capable of even beating
Oh
this
yeah,
disease.
they don't
if
give
you
a
put-
shit about people.
No.
That's the crazy part.
And that's the one thing I think like come out of all of this is we need to figure out a way to make RSO treatment like somebody's first choice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Instead of their last. Like we get a lot of people coming in and it's their last choice. They come in, they're like,
yeah, that's a good
we've
point.
used up all of our resources. The doctor said that I'm basically going home to die, so I'm gonna try this.
Yeah.
But it's like we need to try this first because it's the safest of them all, you know. And say the RSO treatment doesn't work, and you're forced to do your chemo and you're forced to do your radiation. Okay, but
true.
at least you tried with a safe alternative first
That's true.
You know,
instead
I
of trying the
wanna-
safe
Yeah.
alternative last.
You
That
know-
makes a lot of sense, actually.
Doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it's like we should start with the one that doesn't have like,
The
these
most
are the
effect,
side
yeah.
effects,
Yeah.
like brain damage, death. Like,
Yeah, but that's
death.
not how the
Yeah.
pharmaceutical company wants it because
yeah,
they
let's
make
start
all
with
that
this
money off
less
those
radical
chemo
treatment
treatments.
and
Yeah,
see
there's
if it
so
works
much money.
first.
All
Yeah,
these
or they
cancer
can't even say,
foundations
like-
funnel money back to that too. It's all been traced back. You know, it's
Yeah.
crazy. If you follow the money, it's crazy where you see where the actual motivation for a cancer foundation and stuff comes from.
Yeah.
Like
It's
for the
really
most part,
scary.
the doctors don't even. You know, I mean, it's not even like change your diet. You know what I
But
mean?
you know, I'm not
quit eating sugar.
'cause I
quit-
did say a lot
they
of
don't
bad
say
shit
that.
about the government, but you know, I'm not gonna say. I want to say one thing though, that I do respect the shit out of police officers, and I know that a lot of them have, you know, been happy to do what, you know, they're allowed to do now and let people go with cannabis. We've had a couple people patients that have been pulled over with oil and they've just been let go. When before, you know, there was a story about cancer patient, brain tumor, was put in a wheelchair, took him a minute to get up the door, busted in, put him in handcuffs, took him to jail, and charged him with manufacturing delivery, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, now they don't have to do that, and a lot of them, you
Yeah.
know, are really excited about that. You said something, too, that you deal with.
Yeah, I've had clients that say that they're you know in law enforcement and they're not against marijuana. They you know recognize its healing properties and stuff. So
Yeah.
same thing, you know. Like I think that the thing is with any industry, whether it's police or you know, or I don't know if that's an industry, but you know that job or like growing weed or tattooing, it's like there's gonna be good people and bad people. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? There's gonna be good cops and bad cops.
Yeah.
Good people that grow weed for positive reasons or negative reasons and selfish reasons. People that tattoo because it's the same thing. You know?
Yeah.
It all circles right back to that.
Yeah, dude.
The idea of negativity. Like you don't see the positive stories.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
you'd see a video of a cop playing basketball with some inner city kids.
Yeah,
Or you
yeah.
see a video of you know, and that
They just
gives you
gotta-
hope and it makes you feel good. But you're like, that's that one
Yeah.
good cop. But it's like, well, no, that's just a good cop.
Right.
We always see that one bad cop. We always see that one dude that fucked up and did shit wrong and grew his weed wrong, or you know, I mean,
Yeah.
we live in this negative
You
culture.
just gotta be aware and have that perspective going into
Yeah.
the internet. I think.
They have the most
how long
dangerous
have you guys
job.
lived on campus?
Well, he's lived in Mount Pleasant his whole life.
So I mean, you've definitely seen, like, I haven't really been like in the city that much, you know, and that's where a lot of these like arrests and stuff have been happening on campus. Like, what's it been like? What's it been like with?
Tight.
Oh, it's Titan over there.
Yeah, dude. They said the last sheriff that tattooed somebody in his family, and he was there, and he told me that they haven't made an arrest for marijuana since like 2017 or whenever they decriminalized it. It's in
Really?
Mount Pleasant, yeah.
So
Unless it was for this, you know, like a big amount of marijuana, or like somebody selling to kids, or
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
publicly smoking,
Yeah.
like stupid shit that you
Yeah.
shouldn't get in
Well,
trouble.
that's
you know,
cool
they
if
should
he
get in
did
trouble
that.
for
You
it.
know, a lot of people, you know, a lot of cops didn't do that. You
Yeah,
know, but
it's gonna get better
And-
over
and it
time. It's
sucks
gonna take
because
time. We
you
live in a
guys had,
crazy
like,
time.
You guys had like what 5 different departments?
Yeah,
you
there's
know,
a
that's
lot
a
of
little
police
insane.
over there.
There's too many. Like,
They keep
Yeah.
convincing that area that they need more police,
need
but
more
there's a lot of
police.
people there during certain parts of the time.
There is, and I can see
Yeah.
campus needing like
and
their
I-
own
and
set
the
of
tribe
cops.
needing their own, you know, problem makes sense.
You're fine.
But yeah,
That's
that's
what they
what
always
everybody
say.
says is I don't do anything wrong.
Exactly,
but it
dude.
doesn't
But then you
matter,
see
man. You get
all
a
the
cop
videos.
behind you, everybody's
And when you're tattooed
everybody's
up-
beehole
That's
goes
scary, yeah.
When
tightens
you're
up a little
tattooed
bit,
up,
even if
dude,
you're not doing anything
they
wrong. Like,
discriminate, you know? It's
Yeah.
like
you get that
like, do you
feeling
have
in
to
your
like?
gut.
Do you get less discrimination when you say, "Oh, I'm a tattoo artist"?
I
Like,
think they just assume a lot of times I'm a tattoo artist.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
think-
otherwise they're like, why would this guy?
Well, there's a
Yeah.
lot of
out
guys
here,
that are tattooed.
where I'm from, it's like everyone's covered in their face and everything. You know,
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a lot different, but
Yeah.
so you don't even get questioned out there, you know.
Yeah.
But out here, yeah. It's
Man,
like
that's
people
kinda-
are a little more discreet. Like they just
You know,
stare
I
at you
feel like-
more. I
yeah.
think it's more what it is. It's nothing big.
Well,
you
I
gotta
mean, smaller
accept that.
towns
You're
and-
like, oh, I
and
put
shit.
colors all over me.
Yeah.
Like some of the people are gonna look at you.
Yeah,
yeah.
which-
But
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you're from like a ghetto ass spot like me, and you see people staring at you across the way, and you're like, "The hell are you staring at, dude?"
Yeah,
you know what I
right.
mean? But then you're like, "Oh yeah, I have tattoos
Yeah.
all over me, and I'm in this little pocket of the universe that's still like kind of weird, like weirdly old school here
Yeah,
too."
dude,
you know?
that's
Yeah.
it's kind of yeah.
But I like it. I like the value system people have. You know, they still
Yeah.
everyone
Well, we just
like
gotta
there's
get
hella
more
parents at the soccer
participation,
games and
but-
stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
And a lot of people try to support local stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, and it's
Try
all crap
try
stuff.
and keep
too.
We're
your
trying to
local
get more
local grocery
participation
stores.
from
Yeah,
the younger,
I think this
you know,
state's gonna do it better
generations.
than California or Colorado did it because you guys are into like craft stuff and you
Yeah.
support local. You know,
And
so
that's
it's different.
That's
than
what Michigan.
Cali.
I think kind of think that's
Cali's
what
corporate.
Michigan's
Well,
all about.
the
Yeah.
first people that bought. I mean, Cali started out with Prop 64, which was dope. You know, you had people that could have patients, and 99 plants per patient, and as many patients as you wanted, and it could be 99 plants or enough to ensure an unended supply. So, they had it right out there. And they had people allowed to open up dispensaries for their overages and stuff. So, but then immediately, as soon as they seen that these people were profiting this much, they passed I can't 502.
250, I think.
Was it
Prop 250?
something like that?
Yeah, the newer one.
Yeah, the newer one. It basically it grandfathered everybody in that was in that Prop 64, and then no one else could do that.
Oh,
And it made it so now, like, all these corporations just came in, and then boom, everything was commercial. You had
Yeah.
people that were allowed to grow, and then you had a lot of people that are growing, 15 stories of plants that
Yeah,
are just
yeah.
thousands and thousands and thousands of plants.
It's all big stuff. You go into a store now, and it's like walking into like a tiny Walmart of weed or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Right,
Like
you
there's
know?
a fat line that snakes around in the middle, and then like all the way around this big, like it's an old in-shaped city. So you just imagine those are really
Yeah.
big spots, and they use like the main gym floor area that used to be that for it's all a wraparound
Yeah.
spot, and there's like dozens of different brands that all have different strands and edibles or whatever,
Yeah.
like every different kind of thing, and then it's just crazy now, like
Yeah,
over there, but it is corporatized, you could tell, like
Yeah,
the people
and
that
that's
have the
what's
most
scary.
money, like one guy owns like 3 of the biggest ones in the area. you
Yeah.
know?
Oh,
and then,
yeah.
like everybody else, there's some local ones, there's
Yeah,
some that are just
the
they
funny
do
thing is
everything
now you can buy them
themselves.
out. They're public. A lot of them are going public now, and you can buy stocks on
Yeah.
the stock market.
But there's
It's like-
options, like when
Yeah.
you get into, I want to smoke some weed because it's legal. You could decide like who do you want to align with. Same thing.
Yeah.
Like, do I want to like get weed from just people that sell it for the cheapest? And like, or
Right.
do I want to like get it from like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
people that have these certain moral values
Yeah.
that align with mine, or like,
Yeah.
like there's like these Rastafari churches even and shit like that out
That's
there.
sweet.
that-
That's probably like a dog.
yeah,
you
you
know.
just paid a membership fee and then you can go in there and trade or whatever, or
Yeah,
like
that's
buy whatever
sweet.
from them. And
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
excited
a-
about that part of
crazy
Prop
too.
1 here. I'm definitely excited.
I mean,
I'm excited to
we
see
gotta
what
give
happens,
a
for
huge
sure.
shout out to the governor and
yeah.
everything for these emergency rulings they just passed, because it's all about the consumer, and it's all about the caregivers. And
yeah, for sure.
like there's even a proposition in there saying like you have to have a social equity
yeah.
plan in place, so you're helping out people that were disproportionately affected by the
Marijuana prohibition.
Yeah, marijuana prohibition.
I mean,
Oh,
you had,
okay.
so like it's trying to get the people that sat in prison for years
yeah.
over a plant that is now legal. Like it's trying to give them a foot in the door.
Oh yeah,
So
dude.
like you have to have a plan in place
you
to
have
help
to have a plan
I'm
in
glad.
place in your business plan for that.
Yeah.
That was part of the
to help the inner
emergency
cities
rules.
that have been.
You
You know what I mean? Like
she
think
made
about
that,
Detroit.
you know?
Like think
Makes
about
it
like
happy
the
to be
inner
a part
city
of
of
a
Detroit
state
where
like
people
that.
were
It
probably
does,
getting
dude. When
smashed, just
Yeah.
disproportionately smashed every day for just minor possession charges
Yeah.
in an inner city because it's easy to pick people up in an inner city.
No, for
Yeah.
sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? So like if your plan involves helping out that community just in general, or helping out
Okay.
people
Yeah.
that were just
Or hiring
affected.
people
Yeah.
that were immediately, just released.
Oh, God.
What?
That was a bee. It was
Just
like
landing on me?
he's right there behind you on that.
You have a bug cam like throughout the whole time, like bug cam.
That little thing?
Like
Yeah,
5
it
times
just
that
freaked me
happened.
out. Like I thought it was just tail.
Dude, I
Oh, that's a big one, dog.
I think that's a good place to end.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time on the Smoke Sesh.